Hello. Sorry. Wait, hold on. And welcome back to the Metroball Grid. My name is Andre. How's it going tonight? It is the 25th of November. It's a month till Christmas. Hopefully you're all doing well. Just wow, what a mess. We can do this again. We can just restart it and pretend we didn't start it, and then we can, hold on. Hello and welcome back to Metroball Grid. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. It is November 25th. Hopefully you're doing well. Welcome to the stream. Yo, Sean, what up? Andre, great job with Worlds last week and wonderful commentary throughout. Hey, cheers. Thank you. Appreciate the kind words. I saw you in chat watching. Did you have a good time? I take it you weren't playing, more that you're just watching. But yeah, Worlds was just last weekend. We wrapped up and it was so much fun. Great job on Worlds. Macaroni, thank you. Solomir, how's it going? Great comms, Giles, thank you. Appreciate it, everyone. Worlds was just this weekend. It was 3 days of Netrunner. It was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And this is actually really cool. Normally what happens on the Nisei side is they stream something onto Twitch and then they eventually pull the VOD down and they get it up onto YouTube. They did that like 2 days after. Like straight up 2 days after. Everything is on Project Nisei, youtube.com/Project Nisei. Just search this, it'll be the channel name, it'll be in the show notes. But it's all up there. So if you want to watch it and you want to, it's, I think easier to watch on YouTube. You can watch at 2x speed if you want. You can like jump around a bit easier. I think the video player is obviously a bit nicer on YouTube, but it's already up, which is fantastic. Deck of the week today is going to be rough for you. Yeah, maybe. It's a shaper deck. I don't really feel strong about it. Yo, Nelwyn, how's it going? Agreed. Love the commentary. Andre did a great job keeping on with what's going on with each game. Oh, cheers. Thank you. Jenkins, can't believe you're streaming tonight after your work this weekend. Yo, I said this at the end of the stream, but like once Worlds is over, and especially if it's a good Worlds, and like this year was a really good Worlds, is that like the thought of more Netrunner is honestly more exciting than it is tiring. Like just like, oh yeah, we can keep going. Let's go play some more Netrunner. And I think that's a really big point. I'm actually really excited about it. Also, I'm really excited to hear about those who are watching right now, maybe what your experience was like at Worlds. I think for some people, it might even be your first Worlds. If you got into the game maybe this year, or the first Worlds that you participated in, maybe you've been playing for a while. But I want to know what that is like, because obviously that's very interesting. There's obviously a lot of focus on top tables, but I just want to know how everything's going on. It's on YouTube already? Yeah, it was like up as soon as like 3 days ago. So it was up on like Tuesday. Monday maybe even. That's so cool. It's so cool. Yo, David, how's it going? Good to be early today. Welcome to the stream. Everyone's never gonna burn it. Loved it. I wasn't playing, haven't played in a year, but curious to see if the game is something I can get back into. I read your comments a lot on I know you're pretty vocal on Reddit talking about like, I know when PE left, you're like, I'm out. Which admittedly is a pretty on-brand comment, I guess. Yeah, the meta right now seems fantastic. We're gonna take a bit of time to talk about it specifically because we have the breakdowns. I think there's a post right now on r/Netrunner talking about like how this new ban list was really good, and we saw a lot of diversity at Worlds, and I think I agree with that. It was actually pretty good. Mine was pretty okay. Well played, Jacktivist. Well played. Went to my local meet last night. Was gasping to actually play after all that watching. Exactly right. It's not just me, huh? Now the Worlds testing is over, the meme decks have their chance to reign again. No, Arizon, you just wait, and then Nisei will unban Medium or something, and that's the way that they'll solve these awkward months until the new stuff. It'll be great. I couldn't overcome my anxiety. Oh, sorry to hear that. Hopefully at some point you can just dip your toes in some organized play or something, but I promise you'll have a good time. I know it can be difficult. That Mad Dash run should probably have won it for you. Congrats, says Macaroni Janktivist. Baza, how's it going? Just popping to say you did a fantastic job in the World Stream. Good stuff. Yo, Baza, thanks so much. Really appreciate it. It was really fun. How you doing? RNG's RNG. I had a lot of luck that tournament. Rotom 100% deserved it. It was a really, really good run. Haven't played it. I was at a silly time of the day in Australia. Yeah, David, the time zone for Australia obviously is a bit rough. I don't think day A or day B were particularly very good. I don't think I totally understood because I was kind of caught off guard. I think Mar, she mentioned that there's going to be some specific continentals or something, because I thought they had that, but like there's going to be some sort of organized play that was more focused on the APAC region. So I'm interested to see what that is, because I do think, yeah, that region gets a bit unfortunate when it comes to time zone stuff. Baza said played Worlds last year, had a ton of fun, just couldn't make it work this year, sadly. Keen to play some more soon though. Yeah, they'll be next year. Come on, couldn't play. Meta Shakeup made for an exciting Worlds. It really did. Come on, how's it going? Welcome. Margarita also, I didn't see the result. Did Janktivist win the championship? No, Janktivist did not win the championship, but Janktivist did really well into the top cut. I guess we're going to talk about the results and we'll spoil everything today, I guess. Excited to see lots of Max. Yeah, the final was between Big Unit, who is, I think, one of my two choices to win, and Rotom Appliance, who has just been a very, very, very strong competitive Netrunner player for a really long time. You might actually know what they look like if you've seen the card on sale 1.0. And Big Unit was in the winners finals, and Rotom came in from losers finals, and they went to the finals and actually went to the grand finals, and they were just really, 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 really good games. Lower bracket, not losers. Did I say losers? Oh, Janktivist says losers. Okay, yeah, he smiles. It's fine. 3 a.m. start wasn't as savage as I expected, which was nice. Yeah, how'd you hold in, Giles? Because I heard from a lot of players, or I heard of a lot of players from, the 3 a.m. start or like the 5 a.m. start or whatever it was, not great. Glad you got some sleep at least. If you want to talk about it specifically, I don't know who did this, but like the world's results are up on Always Be Running. I'm trying to figure out who did this, because they seem to have merged the 2 days together, and I don't know how accurate this is. So there was 201 entrants, concluded by Netscape Navigator. Okay, that's actually pretty interesting. So basically these were merged together. Some of the top cut spots haven't been taken, and sometimes it gets a bit awkward to know who's 4th, 5th, or 6th, because if you get knocked out around the same time, it's pretty nebulous. But these are like, I believe, the married stats, right? Because like Rust Rider was the top of all of Swiss, and Tug was the top of day A. So I'm assuming somebody looked at strength of schedule and merged these together, right? Sort of thing. It was good, yo. Glad you joined it. I had a Yasengren did a bunch of the collating work. You heard Yasengren did. Okay, that's cool. Because I know Yasengren, when we were like streaming on Sunday, it was really fun to stream with Pants and Yasengren and Ginevra as well on the Saturday. But I know on Sunday specifically, Yasengren was like putting together his own spreadsheets to run the top cut. And there was a top cut incident where the pairings seemed to be wrong. And it was something that I'm pretty sure like Yasengren saw pretty quickly. He's like, no, this can't be right. Like number 1 is playing number 2 in second round. Like that shouldn't be happening. And so Nisei had to repair it on the fly, right? Like they opened the challenge bracket and they worked on that for like a round. But looking back at the tape, and it didn't feel like that. I think the 3 of us had to just like fill air for about 40 minutes. The chunk of time between like round 1 and round 2 was 40 minutes of like repairing, and we were just like rolling with it. The Nisei team was like, we need to get this. Can you just hold on for a second? We're like, yeah, we did it. And I didn't realize that like the actual time between rounds was hilariously long, which it honestly didn't feel that bad. I hope it wasn't that bad when you're watching. I went in with a really chill mindset. More went on having fun, which paid off when my runner crashed and burned. Ag Infusion went 5-2 though. I'm really happy that you played Ag Infusion. I think Ag Infusion was actually pretty well positioned for the meta. It's just like quite difficult to play it for sure, especially over a long enough period of time. But hey, well done, Jaws. Drinking Margarita says Bacon Slayer. Oh, Bacon Slayer, how you doing? No dead air allowed. Yeah, I know. You 3 were amazing spin doctors. Cheers, appreciate it. So the cool thing about this is you can see all the statistics, and if you can see, like, if you want to get your ranking on where you are, you can out of the 201 players, which is pretty good. Maybe you don't want to look at this and just be like, oh, I came in top 32 on day 2. And then you realize like, you're lower than that, whatever. It doesn't matter. Sunny was good with Bring Again. Sunny did pretty well. It did far better than I expected this year. Hell yeah. I feel really bad for Cody. That was always unfortunate. Cody was like the 25th player when 24 made it to the next day. He was the only 30 player that didn't make it. And it was on like 0.001 strength of schedule or something ridiculous, which is a bummer. Visitor Doubt, how's it going? Herculean effort in Streaming Worlds. It was fantastic. Thank you. Oh, cheers. Glad you appreciated it. Also, this year we had a lot of viewership. We really did. More people, I think, participated in Worlds last year, which makes sense. A lot of people were kind of more indoors out of necessity. But like we had, I think it was like peak 400 viewers during the finals, give or take, which is absolutely fantastic. So that is super, super, super cool. The one thing I wanted to look at is this. Like, this is a really cool thing to see when you look at the statistics and the distribution. So the question is, what do we think Worlds was going to look like? And I don't think there's any super big surprises. I think maybe the corp side's a bit more interesting, but we thought Max was going to be really well represented. And I think even in the top like 16 or the top 24, we saw like 3 different competitive archetypes all out of Max, which is absolutely fascinating, fantastic. That's so cool. Max finally wins a Worlds. She was destined to a couple rounds in. I think everybody who was left was playing Max, which is pretty awesome. Then Steve being the criminal over Zaya, I think makes a lot of sense. Just the value over time. We saw Steve even playing inside Max, inside Anarch faction, which is fantastic. And then from there, this is where things get a bit surprising, right? Like 12% of the field, 24 atoms were being played. And we're going to talk about this today. I think we're going to try and play the list. And at the end of Worlds, we got the opportunity to interview Prukomis, who is part of the NWE testing group, who they largely brought Adam as their best runner. And that is just such a cool thing to see, that some of the most like competitively minded players said Adam was the right pick. And largely it was. Obviously, Adam didn't win Worlds, but Adam came the closest he ever has, or it has. And there was a lot of representation in the top tables. And the deck is actually really cool. For what it's worth, I think if you play that deck casually, I think you actually can change some cards, because that deck was specifically teched for the Worlds meta. Like, that deck needs a strong way to deal with Gagarin, which was represented, but not, I think, as represented as maybe NWE thought it was, because they determined that it was the best deck in the format. But it's super cool. And then the other thing is that Sunny actually had a lot of representation. I think we did have a Sunny on day 2, if I'm not mistaken, but they also, NWE said Sunny was actually close to being the second best choice, which is pretty fantastic. And I think a big part of that too is, if you're looking at over here, Controlling the Message was the most popular corp. And I think this is only slightly a surprise. I think the Controlling the Message has always been incredibly strong, and it's something that's really easy to fall back on, and it's really powerful. Specifically also with 419 leaving, less people playing Citadel, Max being a bit less reliable in the early game. Like, this made a lot of sense. I think this number was bigger than maybe I thought it would be. I thought maybe like PD would be slightly bigger, but Controlling the Message, we saw a lot of it, and luckily though, the games we saw were actually quite fun, which is really cool. Otherwise, in terms of the surprise, Gagarin being competitive is so wild to me. White hat busted in this meta. Yeah, it's actually really good. We saw like a lot of tempo white hats, which was really exciting. Gagarin's the second best corp. Diogene, how's it going? Baza says, sad that Shapers were in the witness protection program, but happy to see Adam. Yeah, Shapers did not really perform. And that doesn't mean, for those who are like really digging for Shaper, it doesn't mean that Shaper isn't good. It just means that Shaper isn't the best. And that's fine, I guess. Like, someone's always not going to be the best, but when people are showing up to Worlds to play the thing that they think is going to win Worlds and is the best thing, there is not a good reason to bring Shapers right now, or Shapers right now for the meta. I honestly don't have a good understanding why exactly that is. I've heard a lot of people say a lot of different things, saying things like the identities really don't do much, and that kind of does resonate. Or, you know, they're just generally a bit slower and they just take more time to set up, and compare that to, like, you know, Bravado or the Max Draw. Like, it's kind of a big thing. Yo, hey, Sangren, can't stick around, but great job casting. Yo, to you too, man. It was a real pleasure to have you on comms, and also a great run. We got a lot of your good games on stream. I know you put up a video like 2 hours ago. I'm excited to dive into it. I really like the last video. Well, hold on. Let me catch up on chat a wee bit. Yeah, 400 is incredible. There was a Sunny deck that face checked into a Brainstorm. I think we got one of those on stream, right? I'm pretty sure when day 2 we saw somebody tank a Brainstorm, and I think it was a Sunny, right? In that Brainstorm gank deck that was Double K was playing, if I'm not mistaken. I think any sort of hand disruption was really strong in this meta. See all the Maws. Yeah, Maws are really, really powerful. And like, you saw how people played, like, fundamentally how people played against Controlling the Message, playing like Maw Anarch or Apoc Anarch, was so cool. Like, we saw people in the top cut deck people out. They're just like, the right line of play at this point is just, I'm going to just disrupt you. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to not lose and disrupt you, and they can't win. I think Shaver has some decent decks, but Red Crim is doing the same thing better. Yeah, I think that's like on the money for sure. That really is on the money. That it's still fine. It's just not the best, and that's okay. Yeah, lots of rebirth into Alice. We saw so much rebirth into Alice. Like, obviously you see rebirth into Omar. Every once in a while you see rebirth into Quetzal, but we saw consistent rebirth into Alice, which makes a lot of sense for that specific matchup. Hygiene says, I feel that Big Max actually requires more skills than normal deck, since you never know what you're getting. Yeah, it's a mix. And I think that's one of the fun things that's always been like really captivating about Max. And there's so many decks that do this, and they're the sort of decks that I think I gravitate towards personally. It's decks that make you care about additional types of resources, if you know what I mean. Like, normally when you're playing Netrunner, like vanilla Netrunner system gateway learning, like, you have your identity, you have your cards, you have your credits, you have your clicks, right? That's all your resources. But then max, it gets a bit more interesting, right? Because then you have to worry about all the heap. And then on top of that, you're worrying about like, okay, if I mill this card, how bad things are. So do I value card draw now? But it basically gives you 1 or 2 more resources to play with and to balance in the game. So like the amount of plates you're spinning is just like 1 plate higher. And that's really cool to see the best players pull that off really, really well. I'm a really big fan of the max decks. I'm glad they performed well. The fact that we almost had a 70 card max deck win Worlds, we had a 60 card max deck win Worlds, and Adam was in the top cut. Like if you asked anybody this stuff last year, like they would laugh at you. It's pretty wild. Yo, Mark Andre, how's it going? I'll Seabass, how's it going? I think the Az deck was my favorite to watch all weekend. That Az deck we didn't see a lot of, and like it's a sort of deck that I think if you don't have a very quick game plan to it, it's going to do its thing, which is like pseudo shaper stuff, and it's really fun to watch. But we never saw any, I think, a matchup where it was like put to the test of like I think we only tuned in once where it was like just set up and it was just kind of stunting on the corp. And for what it's worth, I think they could have closed the game out much faster than they did. They just were kind of like playing with their engine, which is really cool to watch. And I'm actually really interested to see more of that deck because that deck's fun. Daiji, I was surprised by Aeneas Informant combo. I'm actually really surprised that Aeneas Informant like seemed necessary to see play. And again, I think we only saw 1 game where 3 Aeneas hit Informants hit the table. And by 1 game, I mean like the last 5 minutes of a game. It was an Osclid game. And I think we didn't watch a lot of Osclid going through the day 2 or the cut as all, but like I still don't see why it's exactly necessary. I get it, but I don't think we saw any matchup on camera where you saw why those were necessary, which is a bit of a bummer. But like all those cards really work well together. The one that we saw just consistently work well throughout the whole weekend was Ma, and obviously those work well with Ma, which is fantastic. Yeah, Worlds was really good. It's very, very good in CTM. It is definitely very good in CTM. It's very good in Gagarin. But I think most of the max decks we saw in those matchups just weren't that specific build. Obviously, like that deck did very, very well. My version of Fake Geist is what I wish I took in hindsight. It's a cool deck for sure. I wonder how he does against Gagarin. Congrats on figuring out and describing the entire game traffic analyzer combo in like 3 seconds. Jackson, thank you. It's actually something that's happened to us before in stream, and we've actually got prison locked by it. So I was already a bit familiar with the combination. But yeah, no, it is definitely a really wild thing. It's wild that we didn't get to see it like actually do its thing. We just saw it fizzle, and then the person, I forget who's playing it. Was it NetDad? But the player also made like a pretty sizable mistake, unfortunately, when they reset it, because they didn't see that there was a political operative. So things fell apart. And you're always going to see that. Like it's obviously heartbreaking, but you're always going to see people make like very, very big mistakes. And when you're on camera, it's, I think, in some ways easier to make them, but also it feels worse to make them. And like I've been in that seat. Like I filmed myself before. There's video of me losing nationals on this channel horribly. So ugh. you gotta bootstrap yourself up or whatever. But point being is in the top cut, I think we saw some of the best play. Like it's always just a bummer when you see like really good players and you know it's the end of like a weekend of Netrunner and they start playing sloppy, you know, maybe if everything's on a single day. But like we just saw really good clean play 90% of the time, and it makes for really good watching where like you see these players really are figuring out the best lines. Missing the Paul-Up play cost me super hard on one of my critical games. Paul-Up was such a strong card this weekend. We saw decks are running 2 of them in max, and like it makes sense. There's like no matchup in which it's bad. Unfortunately, it rotates. Entire weekend was lots of fun. So many cool moments. Can't wait to participate RL one day. Yeah, hopefully next year it's in person. Nisei, again, I'm not part of Nisei. I don't know what they're up to, but like Nisei's been trying to get it back into Toronto. Now this will be the 3rd year coming if they do it next year, which is really exciting, obviously, for Canadian. So we're hoping for that because Worlds in person, it's also like such a different thing if you've never had the opportunity to go to Worlds in person or any like big event in person. The idea of like you go into a room, there's hundreds of people that share the same passion as you and are here for this one thing that you care about. It's like you can feel it. It is incredible. There's very few things like that. And it's like, it's something worth being part of for sure. So if that happens and, you know, traveling is easier, I guess, so be it. And I'm excited for that, but we have a year for that. Maybe we'll have new cards by then. I don't know. We had no scoops, which I think some people were a bit bummed out by, but yeah, I didn't have scoops. I don't know what to tell you. I was Worlds, and again, it's already up on YouTube, which is so cool from Nisei. This takes a while to upload and download like 9-hour videos. So good for them to get all that stuff up. That's fantastic. Somebody posted one of these videos being like, hey, what's the music used in this cut? Because Nisei just let me use my own music. I gotta just write the whole list of like the 36 songs that show up on here because I don't know exactly what song they're referring to, but I think it's pretty funny. Anywho. Did anyone have a bad time at Worlds? Like, honestly? Oh man, this is a really bad like segue because it's going to single you out. But like, is there any part of Worlds that you wish was different or better? Because obviously we're singing the praises, but I have no doubt people are interested to know. I heard like the side events were a bit messy, and I think the communication on that was a bit off because it originally said that you need to be, it's part of your ticket. And then after that, they said it's not part of your ticket. Anyone can join side events. And then I think like some of the side events ended or even started really, really late, which it obviously is not perfect, but I don't know. I think we should still be celebrating, but if anyone has a bad experience, I don't know what I'm doing. I just seems like the next logical question. Whatever. Day 2 started way too early for me. I slept the first 2-ish rounds. Oh, like you missed them? I thought you were playing. I'd be like, yo, you gotta get up. You gotta play. We managed to get a full pot together to run Ocarina 4 for a side event. That was great. How many people were in there, Arizona? Also, what are the changes to Ocarina 4? What's been added? Sir Loading says I enjoyed the side events, did a cube and a mystery box. I saw someone advertising mystery box. I don't know what the format is. What is mystery box? If I had made the tiebreakers, I would have just overslept. Oh, day 2, right? I was thinking day 1B. Yeah, day 2 started a bit early. It started at 8 in the morning, which I guess for like the West Coast is like 5 in the morning, which isn't great. Yeah, so if you have tiebreakers, it's actually really, really obnoxious, unfortunately. But like, it's really hard for everyone, right? It's just, yeah, it's very difficult when you do it online. When you do it in person, right? Like you're there at a hotel, so it's a bit easier, but yeah, it's always an issue. Uh, 9 people playing Oko. Here's the updated ID sheet for Oko 4. Thank you. I'd have wanted longer rounds. Both my runner and corp were slow and it felt rushed. Yeah, so Loathing, that's like, admittedly not a Worlds thing as much as it is like a Netrunner in general thing. And the timing of the rounds is actually really important because it makes a sizable impact on how long events are and, which decks and what strategies are relevant or like playable. Accelerated beta test? Wow. Cyberdeck Sandbox is now HB. Cool. Which kind of makes sense, I guess, if you have Jeeves. What else has changed here? Remote data farm, deck size reduced, deck size decreased on net quarantine because nobody plays these. I just want to see the additions. Added by the king, added by the king. On the runner side, if you don't know what Ocarina is, it's a format in which the identities are replaced by like connections. And then the deck building rules are pretty similar, but the deck building rules are basically here, right? Rachel Beckman, Acolyte of Apex. That's old. Added by Arizon, Joshua B. Oof. That is a rude identity. And Cybertrooper to loot. Deck size decreased. That's good. Influence reduced further to 10 for the class act. Yeah, that seems fair. In particular, Rachel Beckman got a bit more influence, and we also added in Joshua B. Main standout for Oko 4 is that we added Joshua B, and then 75% of the runners played Tag Me, and 90% of the corps played Kill. Oh, that can be great. Yeah, 8 out of 9 corps were on Kill, so Rachel Beckman with Heartbeat was the strongest runner. Oh, really? Oh, I guess, yeah. If you have Infinite, yeah, Heartbeat's a good card. What was the ruling on getting a tag when playing as Beckman? Tag equals loss? No, I think she's just blank for the rest of the game if you take a tag. I don't think you lose. I'm pretty sure, yeah. If Rachel Beckman would get trashed, the card's blank, yeah. Tag flips the ID. So you just play a blank ID, which is kind of comparable to playing Apex anyways. So not too bad. Not too bad. This is still in standard, right? Ocarina's not eternal. Yeah. So you can't play DLR. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Ocarina is really cool. I think we streamed 1 or 2 of the tournaments. Apex, I can just install ASOPs. Yeah, I know. It's actually like straight up better than Apex. The fact that you can play connections, or sorry, resources that are not virtual. It seems pretty important. Now this is the weird time where it's like after Worlds, and like at this point, we're not getting competitive. Not that we ever really were, but we're just hanging out now and just playing Netrunner for the funs of it, for the lulls. Which is good. Especially when you have to play this do not play very bad Shaper deck. So that's great. I'm publishing this deck not because I plan to play it at Worlds and subscribe to some noble beliefs about open deck lists, but because I very much do not want to take it to Worlds. I do it to silence the small and persistent little voice in the back of my head that keeps saying terrible things like, but you love Shaper, and just think of the tricks you can pull off with Brahmin, Euler, and Egret, or 5 strength Echelon, or even, no, but for real, I think Brahmin might have some game against the Rush decks. I will not succumb to this voice. I do think there's a gem of an idea here, though, and I would quite like to revisit it in a few weeks' time. Q-Loop is a great card with Brahmin, but it's also just really helpful for getting a big rig Shaper setup quickly. The Breaker Suite is designed for flexibility rather than all in on the circus plan. I have perfectly normal good cards like Imp and Pull Up and Turning Wheel. Hushik is always quite a good closer. This is how it starts. Don't fall for it, kids. I'm playing Steve at Worlds. There will be 0 interesting cards in the deck, and I'll still do terrible. See you there. Okay, so Prognostic Q-Loop as like a Shaper card is something that was kind of like flirted with even as soon as Prognostic Q-Loop came out. I remember thinking like, hey, you could play this in Haley, right? And trigger your ability twice a turn. We even saw this as like a card in Valencia to help you set up. And we saw this in card in Az to help you set up. And I think fundamentally there's 2 problems with it. Firstly, I don't like hitting the button. This is on me. I just don't like paying the credit to install a thing or fail. I feel like it's so bad to just pay credit for no reason. I'm probably wrong. You can install a program or a hardware and you have, 14 program, 9 hardware. Admittedly, also you have DZMZ, so it's easier to do your programs, but I just don't hit the button because I always feel like we're behind. And then I just can't. It was like the problem playing consoles. I used to have this issue when I played Netrunner that I would never install my console. I would never be like, I want to pay 3 cards to play Paragon. I want to play 3 cards to play Desperado, because it felt like such a big like loss of tempo then, even though obviously the card pays off on itself in like, 2-3 turns. So I didn't do any of that. And that's a problem where now I'm behind on board state because I'm playing like a slow setup Shaper, and now I have to lose a credit to install a card. Look, it's the right thing to do. This is on me. I mean, you rarely fire a Q-Loop blind. I think Solomir, if you're not running, because Prognostic lets you give some information, I think you consistently fire this blind. And I think there's a lot of decks that would consistently fire it blind. Joshua B couldn't be added until after Paparazzi rotated. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Apex could install Aesop's upside down and need to flip it over. There are a lot of decks that did that, or some decks that did that as soon as the card that lets you flip cards face up came into play, and like, it's not going to be good. It's fine, but it's like I'd rather just play Chop Bot, I reckon, because it's a lot of influence. You got to get that set up. You got to play the 5 cost card. You have to flip it over. Like it's asking for a lot. Otherwise, this is also a nice card that works with Brahmin, because Brahmin specifically, after you break an ice with Brahmin, you have to put a program of yours on top of your deck. It can't be a virus. So the idea is that now you know it's on top of your deck, so you can install it mid-run with Prognostic Q-Loop, and that's really cool. Honestly, I think this deck could be interesting if it also plays Boomerang, which maybe it doesn't need to. Maybe it's good enough. The idea that Euler comes in and break code gates for free on a turn. The fact that we have Cyber Trooper Talud as well. We don't have an Aesop's Pawn Shop, which is fine. It doesn't entirely make sense, but in theory, a lot of this stuff could work. The question is, how quickly can we set up? Probably not that bad. 3 Creative Commission, 3 Gamble, Diesel, Overclock. This is probably honestly fine. Yeah, this is probably fine. Let's do it. Just don't play Star Worlds. You can't anymore. Just don't wait till next year. Well, let's just import this. I think it should already be set up on Keyhole. This is also a really fun time of the year where everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people who go to Worlds like post their deck lists and then post stories. Like this is the first at Worlds, a 44 card PD deck. And then having really nice explanations of why people do this and why they played it is awesome. The interviews that we had at the end with Rotom and Unit and even Perkelmis were fantastic. I don't know why I said even Perkelmis. They're really, really, really cool. And this deck, I think, is a deck we're going to play later today because it's the Atom deck that did really, really quite well. We also never saw Man of the Moon pop off. We never saw it. There was like a couple people that we absolutely cursed. Whenever we tuned into them, we saw them just do nothing and lose. And to like probably no fault. Yeah, curious about the Jemison that never won on stream? Yes, because we never saw one win on stream. And honestly, now that I see this list, it's a reconstruction dedication list. I think we knew that, but it doesn't have anything too flashy besides going really, really fast. And every game that we saw, like the Global Food Initiatives get stuck in hand. It struggles to score at an early atlas, like a hostel, and it gets really, really ugly. But I'm glad that this gets published so more people can see it, because this deck did well at Worlds. I love watching you play circus decks, Andre. This is not going to be good. Even Precomus was interesting. Precomus was like really well spoken about the decisions they made. It was a really good interview. We're running, he thought about. I'm also worried there's not going to be a lot of players today because everyone's, Arizona, fantastic. Gwen, how's it going? How's Worlds? I haven't been paying attention, but I have made progress on setting up a startup scene in Cardiff. Yo, congratulations on setting up a scene. That's fantastic. People who do that need to be, applauded. It's super important to get that stuff going. Worlds was fantastic. And if you want to watch it, Gwen, it's all up on YouTube on Project Nisei. They've uploaded all of it, so you don't have to slog through Twitch VODs. Okay, controlling the message. We're not particularly fast. We're not particularly good at trashing assets. Our opening hand is an imp, though. That's kind of interesting, ain't it? It's kind of interesting. The economy in this hand is bad. Do we have Clot? Nah. Okay, the economy in the hand is actually pretty dubious. We have Imp and we can overclock into trash a resource, but from that point on, I don't want any of these cards. I guess DZMZ's fine. I think we're gonna mulligan this away. Imp is obviously nice, but I think we want to stabilize before anything. Like this, right? Oh, we have a DJ Fenris. What are we DJ Fenrising in? What do we DJ Fenris in? That's not CTM, lol. It's near Earth Hub. They're gonna be drawing. All right, they iced up. So we Fenris into... what are our options? Gmod, so you can always do Steve. Yeah, you can always do Steve, which is fine. I don't think we get the best value in Shaper because we don't play that many events. They did ice up HQ. Here we can install Daily Cast and Creative Commission, which is fine. It's always the best target. It probably is. We can't do Jesminder, which would be an interesting inclusion. Yeah, probably. Los? Plywood, how's it going? I guess Los is an option. Is Quetzal a Gmod? No. Yeah, I guess Quetzal would be a Gmod, right? We'll just set up. Okay, we can throw that out so we can draw once more. Misdirection is a nice thing to have, so we'll just install this and install this. I thought we would discard one. Also, is this noticeable? But Maryland campaign. So before Worlds, and I don't know how well Nisei communicated this. Before Worlds, Nisei messaged me and they're like, "Hey, can you change the background of JNet into the Black Lives Matter background?" And they said they specifically want to do that in support or in protest, I guess, to the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict that was recently announced at the end of that week. And so I had to do that. But the way that I did that, I got huge shout outs for Vesper, who basically does hook me up with this thing. What's it called here? Stylus that allows you to modify the CSS and customize how JNet works. So specifically right now, Genteki.net, I think all these values are bigger. So it's much easier to read, I think, which is fantastic. Did you realize this? Because I don't think I realized that until somebody pointed out on the stream. The 6 here on the Maryland campaign is huge. Anyways, so that's fantastic. It's, I think, a really nice change. I don't know if it's very, very obvious. I also don't know how obvious it was that Nisei did the BLM background. And if they communicated why they did that or whether they needed to. So I'm not sure actually that came across. I think at some point somebody was going to come on stream and talk about it, but I don't think it actually happened. Well, it didn't happen. All right, they have a Spin Doctor. They have out a Maryland. They have a Jeeves. We just can't trash these things. 4, 5, 6. We want to probably check one of these. I don't think we're that weak to hard-hitting news. We're really not. Oh, that's a good start. All right, so we can probably check 2 of these and put down a misdirection. Didn't realize it, but it's nice. Yeah, I think it's a lot nicer. Would you look at that? It looks like they're going to do a fast advance deck using a focus group. I mean, you're not actually playing against CTMs, so trashing is going to wreck you nearly as hard. No, it's not going to be as bad. I think about BLM is that there's sadly always something to make it relevant in the news. Yes. It's a Maryland. That's fine. We'll just put down this. So they're going to probably force us to draw so they can fast advance from hand. We should consider putting a self-modifying code on the table. Yeah, this is the one. Personalized portal. So now whenever, when your turn begins, the runner draws a card, and then with Agroplex we'll be drawing a card, and then they gain 1 credit for every 2 cards in hand. So they're getting a lot of money here. I think Nisei typed in chat at some point, but yeah, that wasn't communicated. No, it wasn't particularly well communicated, but that's okay. Okay, we're definitely going to bring this down because that's a lot of money. It's a 3 credit card. It obviously draws us stuff, which is, you know, nice. Oh, we probably should have run the Jackson first, actually, the Spin Doctor, excuse me. It's a pretty easy mistake to make. Yeah, turning to Lou honestly might be fine. I just don't want to pay 3 credits to turn into Lou. Oh, I forgot we're lat. Yeah, right. We need to be doing that. Yeah, very, very good. So there's the Agriplex. So if we have this on the table, it kind of looks like we have a Cloth Threat. We trashed 2 of them, and now they're just going to Jackson them back, Spin Doctor and Bat, which is not great. Now, if we have no cards in hand, they can't do their trick. So maybe we just install everything. So triple install is going to trigger Jeeves. Let me click for cards. So we're on 7 credits at the beginning of turn. We've been checking remotes and they know it. They haven't filtered their hand, so HQ probably has agendas in it. I don't know what kind of ice they're running. Like, I'm worried that we're going to run into what's it called? A harvester or something silly. So we'll just keep checking stuff. That's a Maryland. Okay, so we know where all 3 Marylands are. We probably actually want to take some of these down. It's a daily business show. I don't know why we're running this if we're not interested in trashing them. We really should have tagged the guinea pig for this matchup. Oh my god, it'd be amazing. So now we're going to draw 2 cards. This lad is actually quite good for them if they want to score out from hand. But they have to worry about Clot. The thing is, though, if they play focus group and they're very confident, they can install on the table and then just focus group for like 4 advancements, and they'll be fine. But I think we do need to go get HQ. The daily business show is going to change stuff. I don't know whether they're on hard-hitting news. They are accelerating us to draw into our economy. Like, this card is, I think, probably good for us. It's obviously good for them too if they want to jam onto the board. Yeah, there it is. There is the focus group. What do they name? Event. So they place 3 advancements on a card. And then they advance it here. They're not letting us react, but this is the card that we're playing around, is focus group specifically. They didn't let us Claude there. But I think they know the list that there's no Claude in it. So we just need to dump cards out of our hand, which honestly is kind of difficult. And I don't honestly want a Fenris here. I don't want a Fenris. I don't want a Lou. I just don't want to do anything. So we're going to run HQ here. They didn't let us fire Claude if we had it. Oh my god. All right, here we go. Do we oiler this? 4 strength Peeping Tom. They're going to name event. So we have 3 events in hand. So this has 3 subroutines of take a tag or end the run. Okay. Question is, do we break this? What is our breakers in our deck? It is specifically for this, it would be, it's 4 strength, right? So we want to do Oiler, which we pull in for 4, and then we break it for 2. Yo, Parallel, how's it going? So we could obviously do that. They're down to 1 credit. I think at this point we just bounce here and we just trash their 2 Marylands, and then we're fine. Going down to 1, pivot to trash econ. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're just going to take down everything. We would love to have a daily cast here. Now they're still going to be drawing a lot, so like they can jam something onto the table. We can throw out 2 cards here. I feel like we're going to be drawing 2 cards a turn anyway, so I just don't see why we'd be playing the diesels. And we want to get the vents out of hand, so the card is a bit harder to name. We also could consider not drawing with Lat. I didn't realize Lat was a May. And drawing into the Rizeki is actually quite nice. Oh, we have a Unity as well. Click for credit. All right, on 1 credit, what can they res? Not a lot. Ping is 1 or 2. Ping is 2. So I think we just keep checking things. Like, we just want to get an Oiler down, or sorry, or a second Rizeki down and go from here. They actually could res a Mamba Temple, yeah, to res like a ping or an IP block here. There you go. We have a link, which is nice. You can Reina for low value. Yeah, Reina's not the worst. She's a Gmod, right? I just don't want to pay 3 for Reina, right? Like, we'd rather use that money to trash their stuff like this. So we need to take down the temple. And then we can click for... Then we leave the temple for 1 turn. We just need to check server 13's not a Rashida. Reina's a cyborg. Oh, yeah, you might be right. Yeah, there you go. We checked that for Rashida for sure. Because that's the thing that gets them out of this hole. I don't think we're going to install Fenris. We might eventually. I don't know if we easily break Peeping Tom. At some point we could. We have 1 Hushik in hand. It looks like it's not a matchup where we need the mess direction, but we always have access with Simul Chip, so we can get rid of that. Reina's a cyborg Gmod? Really? That's kind of cool. Next we trash this before they can get value of it, but it's going to be difficult. If they install like a Mamba here, sorry, what's it called? Maryland here. It's bad for us. Creative is good last click, so we'll run start here, because then they'll, if they want to pre-res this with the credits, they can. Okay, so the worst case scenario is still that this is specifically oh, he probably should have ran spin Dr. Long. Oh, Paul Up's actually quite good. Oh, it's a Maryland campaign. Okay. I'm surprised they didn't free res that. Like, they could have res that for free. Overclock's also quite good. We can just use that to like take down the Maryland campaign and the IP block. We basically do all of that for free. Oh, 1 credit. And we need to start hitting HQ. But like holding down the board at that point, like they just have to guess that overhand. So we'll res the Spin Doctor, I think, first, or run the Spin Doctor. And after that, we'll overclock the Maryland. It doesn't change that much. So they shuffled back personalized portal on 1 unseen card. We'll go server 11 here. Do we want to install the paperclip? No, I don't think so. We'll take this down. We'll take the Maryland down. We're still going to be on 7 credits. I'm going to shuffle that back in. From this point, we could consider trashing the Jeeves. Install Steve, Clock, HQ, Pull Up, Spin, Run, Archives. If anything, it's only 1 agenda probably. And it's only a Bologna too, which we don't have the money to steal. I don't know. Getting through this, I'd rather just install cards, I think. Our MU's goofed up. We didn't draw to any DZMZs. Like we can't actually install any programs, which is awkward. Which is actually quite awkward. Do we just install the Unity? Like, what do we do here? Do we take down the Daily Business Show maybe? I think we take down the Daily Business Show. Because we're still going to draw 2 cards here if we click for credit. I feel like we don't need Brahmin in this matchup. I think we're just going to do better with our own breakers. Like, Brahmin's really good. It's an AI, which already seems awkward because they have IP blocks. Yeah, I think we're not going to do it. Oh, Sure Gamble's a nice draw. But we need to go HQ. Oh, Sure Gamble's a nice draw. I think we want to go HQ at this point. Issues they can score out pretty fast here. We're going to see another focus group maybe. We also want to make sure that we have like an even distribution of cards. Like we have 2 resources, 3 events, 2 programs. Okay, well, that's a lot on the table. So we can check most of these. We're just going to keep checking stuff. Having the link here is quite good. It's going to be a Maryland for sure. Oh, it's an Amani Sanai. It's a Beal. Yeah, we'll take it. That's fine. So we can pay 2 to basically not have a Rozeki return to hand, which is, you know, the going cost. They'll run Amani. We could consider gambling first, but I'm still going to check this to see if it's a Rashida. At 2 credits, what else can we trash? If it's an agenda, we can steal it too. If it's a 15 minutes. It's another Daily Business Show. That's fine. So here we'll throw out, I think, the Hushik. I just don't see us installing DJ Fenris. Yeah. Nah, it's better than Hushik. We can get the Hushik back if we eventually Fenris. SMC? Oh my god, yeah, the SMC actually. Sorry, I didn't even realize it was there for a while. Oh, we have a pantograph. That's sick. Yeah, we probably should. They did not res the daily business show. Yeah, the SMC is way worse than the Hushik, that's for sure. We do want to keep it so that we have like few of the same kind of card in hand, if you know what I mean, right? Like we want to diversify on that. That's what they need to do a while ago. But now if they score out, they have no money. So we'll start in 4. So we'll do credit. This, we can run 14. And then I think we can put down the pantograph, but I don't even think we have a nice install on the pantograph. Oh, we knew what this is. Why did I run it? I forgot I knew what this is. Shiza. Okay. I forgot I knew this. I still think we'll take it down. We ran this last turn, right? Thanks. Yeah, I had no interest in trashing that. If anything, we trash the Jeeves here so they can't score out like a 4-2 from server 11. And then we can recover with a creative commission. All right, DZ. That's okay. We could consider putting down our pantograph there too, but I didn't think we had any good installs. With the DZ now, it's actually nicer to install stuff on their turn with Panto. And now with the Panto down, we actually could like steal an agenda and install something with the DZ. So I think we're going to do Sure Gamble, Panto, run 16, run 17, because one of them is probably a Jeeves. Panto doesn't seem that important. But I'll get it down. We can solve the DZ if we hit something here. I just don't think they'll... We'll be running everything. I don't think they're going to put agendas on the table. This might be a Spin Doctor? Yeah, there's the Jeeves, because I think there is a 4-2 in server 11. And they don't want to use their remastered edition token on it. This is an Amani or something? Oh, it's Portal. You can't have that. Free card draw is good card draw. Like, this is giving us... This Agriplex has been so much better for us, I reckon. Yeah, okay, it's a Spin Doctor there in 11. So now they've drawn a lot. Now we have the prognostic Q loop, so our triggers are about to get more clumsy. But if they score out here, we get installed the prognostic. That's fine with us. Then we can actually start setting up while running, which is good. Score would be allowed. Oh, they just got an agenda into archives. It looks like they just got an agenda out of hand. So I think we want to consider running HQ here. We could even consider floating the tags off of Peeping Tom, but no, I think the clicks are going to be more expensive. Because it's easy to clear a lot of tags in misdirection. I was just going to zoom in. Never mind. It's an advanced assembly lines. All right. They're doing it on their turn, so they can use the cards in hand. Otherwise, if they did on our turn, they could get the nearest HUD draw. So we know that card 20 is not an agenda. Now our money's not amazing. We can obviously overclock one of these servers. Let's just start trashing stuff still. I think one of these is going to be like this is going to be a Spin Doctor, right? Or, oh, that's an Amani. Okay. This might not be right. I don't think we're going to end up using 5 credits here. And we only use like, oh, actually no, we'll spend 5. We just need to go to their hand. We probably could have played the prognostic Q loop by now. We would have seen the top cards of our deck as well. We'll just go from here. So how much of our burst economy have we played? We've played 3 Sure Gamble. We've played 2 creative commissions. So we actually don't have that much economy left in the deck. Like, what is the economy left in the deck? It's mostly going to be 3 Rozekis. We actually probably should have SMC'd for Rozeki like a year ago. Or even with those that Agriplex money. Because they need to close the game out before they mill themselves. And I think they're going to triple advance here. We played all 3 creatives. Wait, actually? Oh, yeah, you're right. We have. So they just Spin Doctored. And they iced up the daily business show because they had extra ice. So the question is, do we run server 11 while we're on 5 credits? I think we do, just to force them to res. This is where I'd rather have the overclock for server 11. I don't think we should have overclocked that remote blindly. Because if it was an Agriplex, we probably wouldn't have trashed it unless we overclocked it. Which is fine for us. They Spin Doctor 2 unseen cards. So again, If we run 11 and they don't, and they res, we can probably run R&D. We need 2 credits for this. Yeah, I think we just run it. What are we worried about? I don't know. How's it going, Philip, by the way? It's a loot box. Oh, okay, cool. Fire all. And they're running pay 2. We'll pay 2. They're going to get a lot of money, though, so they can trace us out on the IP block. So maybe we should end the run here. We probably should end the run here, actually. So they just gained 2 credits. So it was a 4 credit swing. We could just jack out here. Cyber chat loot's another link, actually. It's worth installing. But if we go here, we're going to end up with a tag, which is going to be a click and 2 credits. But it forces them to spend money. Is that better? I think we're just going to jack out. This is like a credit a turn as long as we're running through IP block. In casual with all the Kugugo buffer drive could be good, maybe. In this matchup, I don't know. Buffer drive, yeah, technically. I think it is like damage mitigation. But it's like a very similar thing why people DJ Fenris into Steve. It's kind of comparable, but it's better tempo. The thing with buffer drive is like it's a very, very, very slow card. And I think people are not excited to play in the deck. They'd rather just close the game sooner than like get grinded out to that point. At least that's the way I think I'd play it. Even then at that point, like you could consider playing Caldera if you have infinite money, and that's just kind of probably better. But yeah, it's not the worst. Like Kakugo deck cares less about cards in stack, more about cards in hand. Ooh. All right. Well, we could float tags. We could just, we can't run this multiple times. But I think we want to run it at least once. Because I think there's an agenda in there. If it's a Bologna, it's a problem. Let's just make it awkward here. There's some weird ice in this deck. Maybe we should have bounced on the loot box. Them getting 2 is actually pretty good for us. Like they could have gained 5 from Sure Gamble. Or like 4 from Paperclip. 2 is I think on the lower end of what our deck can deliver. Here they increase the trace. So now if we boost up to 4 credits, we can still get through. 6 credits, I'm not sure what it'd be. So if we pay 4 here, we have to spend a click and 2 credits. So it's about 3. We were going to pay a minimum 3 credits. So I think paying 4 is not that bad. We can still deal with Rashida if it's Rashida in here. It's a Maryland. Okay, that's fine. Discard down to 5. Okay. This will be really good once we get it up. And that's the problem is like, I don't know how expensive it is for us to deal with Peeping Tom. Like normally you just play Black Orchestra from your heap and gain 3 credits and play 3 credits, right? Like that's it. But in Shaper, it's so much more expensive. I think we just need a hard cast Unity, but now with 1 Icebreaker, like Unity is really not great. This is where I love more like interaction-based econ cards. I don't think we're gonna need Simul Chip. How many DZs do we need? Probably not that many. Yeah, I just don't see us prognosting. Oh, Egret. That doesn't help anything, does it? What's our killer? Is Brahmin our killer? Uh-oh. Echelon's our killer. That's not good. That's never good. All right, at least it's gonna be Maryland the remote for a while, but now they have the credit lead. Get the Talud down. Yeah, I think we definitely want the Talud down. Like it makes the Starza Oiler at 4, so we run HQ for free, which is quite cute, especially because we have DJ Fenris. But now, like, it's harder for them to dump a lot of stuff on the table. Never mind. Like the one that we have to pay money to check is not going to happen. So we can probably just credit up and let them sneak something through. That looks like a Spin Doctor. But yeah, Talud getting a link is nice. And its ability is relevant. Oh, and there's a preemptive. Interesting. So again, they are going through their deck fast, so they're actually playing more recursion. They only have 13 cards left. They recurred a Jeeves and 2 unseen cards. I'm worried that if this is Jeeves, this is a problem for us. So we're on 2/2/2. It's just like, this is not great. Like we're just clicking for credits and installing stuff. Like this doesn't seem fun. I just want to smash into stuff. Like, yay. And imagine we didn't get all this free card draw. I guess we get some lag card draw. There's a Maryland, that's fine. But maybe we just kept the board too much. As long if we have like 1 missed bones or like 1 scrubber, we can go so much further here. dealing with assets. But like otherwise, we just hope. We probably should have got a Rizeki down like 3 years ago. If we installed the DZ, even easier. Like we just pay 4 for the Rizeki. I think we've played all of our overclocks. Oh, we have one more overclock. I think we might just overclock for Rizeki. But it's probably too late in the matchup. Talent Dreamnet, good draw. Yeah, I guess so. I've never seen Dreamnet in a lat deck, but yeah, I actually maybe have, but I like Dreamnet a lot. Okay. So how do we close the game off? Like we need to find a Bologna, which hopefully is a Hushik. So here we could pay 4 to get some HQ accesses. So then we could do credit, install Fenris for Steve. That we run HQ. I'm not mistaken how Euler works, right? It comes in at 4 strength and it breaks code gain serpentines for 0. Okay, so that's gonna be 4. Yeah, I think we'll do that. So we're gonna be Steve Cambridge. Do credit. We'll run HQ. Oh, we're gonna be short of the Paul up. That's fine. We can't even fund the Paul up. We're gonna be short of anything here. We can't play anything. Yeah, this is not very good. We can run HQ twice, though. I think that's probably going to be what's best for us. Because this comes in 4 strength and breaks it for 0. And then we can always just, like, simul chip this back in. This is probably what we should have been doing a while ago. But we only got our cyber chip to loot up. They know our hand, though, which is actually the biggest issue. Because now they can very confidently do their thing. And we don't have Bologna money, which is a problem. So we can go for, I think, creative. Steal an agenda, then you can install Paul up. Ooh, that's a good point. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, now they can focus group because we ran into the Peeping Tom, which is the worst part. Like, we probably shouldn't have ran because now they can confidently focus group and they know we have another event here. So we'll just go HQ one more time because we can't get rid of any of these cards. Yeah, this hasn't fired yet. That's not good. Okay, so they don't know, they know what we discard. So we're at program, resource, event, hardware, event. So the most they can get is 2. So I'm not going to draw. We're going to get an Agriplex draw anyways. Declines to use. You don't see that a lot. Hardware. Okay, that's good. That's the one that are least likely to call. We can clot this. They're just not asking. They named event, so they get 2. So that's why we just need to stop running through this. But we're not going to take an action. They didn't wait the first time. And can we install anything? We can install like a free creative commission where we can just take a credit. It's a deal. So we get a credit. We can install something. I feel like we don't want to install anything. I feel like we just want the credit so we can create a commission. We can run HQ for free this turn if we really want to. They have resident advanced assembly lines. Okay, never mind. We're not running for free anymore. And server 23 is alive and well. Okay, what are we doing here? This could be, they could win next turn. If this is a Bologna. If this is a Bologna, they can basically score out using, I'm assuming that they have 2 copies of a focus grip in their hand. It'd be unbelievable if they don't. So it kind of incentivizes us to play both of the events in hand, which is not going to be very easy for us. Expect there's 0 Bolognas in this deck. I think there are Bolognas. I think it's hard pressed to, like, their agenda suite seems pretty reasonable. I think they're almost definitely on Bolognas, especially when they're also playing 2 Amani Sanais, right? I'm thinking there's a Bologna on the table and they want to just focus group out and then use the remastered edition. So I'm actually considering creative commission for click 1 and 2. I think that's the right thing to do. And then we just run server 23. I think maybe last click even. I think we have to do this because we need Bologna money if that's a Bologna. Or even if it's a what's it called? It's in a problem. If it's a San City grid, it's a problem. So we'll run this. We need 5 credits regardless if it's San or Bologna, so it doesn't change that much. It's an IP block, that's fine. They can not trace this out. They can make it so we can't steal Bologna though. Oh, sandbox. Wow. Okay. Yeah, now we'll take it. I think we'll install the Unity. No. I guess this is the best card is Simulchip here. Now we're at event. Sorry, we're at program resource event hardware. Perfect. I can't get focus grouped here. Shit. Now we can. I just don't think they'll call resource. They also just shuffled their deck, so their DBS gets a bit more interesting. But we're at the point that if they are on Bologna, we can close the game out with a Hushik. So I think we just want to set up a Hushik next turn. As long as we have the money. 9 credits. How many 2s do we have? 2, 2, 2. Oilers a 3, 2, 2. Yeah, that's pretty good. The lap minigame works in mysterious ways. Skafan, yeah, it's the Agroplex 2 is basically giving us our own shaper ability. Oh, Biotic Labor. We lose. Oh, maybe not actually. No. They're just gonna score out another one? Yeah, now we're in the doghouse. But luckily they only have 2 credits, so that's another 2. So I think here we can pretty confidently just Hushik, right? This list doesn't have a mad dash for some reason, but I guess it makes sense if we are a double Hushik. So we can run HQ for free. Probably. Which means that we can recur a double. So what can we recur? 2 credits can score the final Beal, right? Yeah, 2 credits can score the final Beal. So like trading down the Meta and then doesn't change anything. So I think we need a Hushik, which unfortunately shuffles, and then from there lock the top of R&D and then maybe run HQ once. The question is whether we want to slam HQ first. And I don't think it really changes much. I think if we do anything, we do Hushik, run HQ to pick a Hushik, and then Hushik again. So I'm just going to open with Hushik and hope we have enough money. Yeah, Beal headlight in hand for sure. Yeah, I think they probably have one of them, and they're going to daily business show. So we need to like get some good Steve value here. Oh, it's a loot box. That'll give them money. This we are thinking, hold on one sec. Let me think. This actually we could consider breaking with Brahmin, if anything. It's 3 strength. That seems bad for us. That's a Brahmin. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm thinking about it. I think so. So I think the issue here is that we lose a 2. We're going to lose a 2. We're going to see 1 card fewer. Or 2 cards fewer, excuse me. I guess we'll pull out the Oiler anyways then. So it's a, where is it? Brahmin? So we'll break these. And we have to put a card on top of our deck. So we'll put a Rozeki and then we'll pull in the Oiler. Choose a non-virus program to put on top of your stack. So we'll do the Rozeki, but before we access, because we're only on 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. That's 4 cards. We could use the Simulchip to make it 1 more. I think we should. So I'll pull out the Oiler just to see additional card. It's free. 5 cards. All right, well, it's a sandbox, that's for sure. Choose a card to install. Huh, interesting. I don't think so. I think we want our money. Because now we can run HQ likely for free, and then we can get another Hushik and then hopefully close the game. So I think that's the play. And again, we brought in our Oiler, so it breaks this for free. They can see our hand, though. Oh, excuse me. I'm amazed to see there are no HHNs. Yeah, I know. But they have to spend all their influence and slots on like all this other weird stuff. But yeah, they are playing, it seems entirely clean. So we're going to do Hushik into Hushik, and then we'll see 3 cards, which is fine. Oh, never mind. Oh, man. That's wild. Cool deck. All right, so we would have gone in Hushik then for there, and then we could have considered to break the loot books, but at that point we wouldn't because we want to keep all our 2s possible. I had the headline score next turn. I believe it. Yeah, they had the score in hand for sure. And Nito. How bad was the flood early? So from here, like we would have Husheked in and we would have seen 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We would have seen 5 cards. Well, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we just seen 5 cards. We could even consider installing the Prognostic Q Loop to look at the top of the deck to see if we can install it too, which we know we can with the Rozeki. I don't think that would be worth it because that's going to be a 3 credit play and we need 3 credits to play this. In theory, if we were really clever, we could like we could install the Prognostic here on the Pantograph, click for a credit, and then we could Hushek in, and then we'd have 3 credits left. So we could use the Pantograph, pay 1 to install the Rozeki, and then have another 2, which is amazing. Maybe this would have been better in the sandbox. But yeah, actually, fast advance 4/2s in this deck often. Flood was a bit bad, but I cycled like 4 of them with preempted the first spin doctor, and then I had DBS. Yeah, you didn't have DBS for the first turns. I thought things might have been getting ugly in there. I told you about the blown. Yeah, you're totally right. With that many fast advance pieces, I think it makes sense that you just want to have things you can score out. But like, I think the Agriflex has probably helped us more than them. Because like, how do we draw this deep? Like, how does a Shaper deck get to 10 cards left? I don't get it. Mostly just tons of copies of focus groups in hand. We had imps. I forgot about that. We did have imps, and that's kind of a thing we could have considered pulling out. And I don't think we aggressed on centrals early enough. And I think that's like a big thing about Steve is like, sure, you pay the install cost front up, but once you get your Oiler down, and then you have the Tialu down, and then you have Simulchips, like these are free runs. The 1x market forces. Oh, whoa. I wondered if you had punishment. That's dope. So they did have a market forces if we ever wanted to go full tag me. But I think if we went tag me, the bummer actually would have been they trash our Steve. Man, I've never seen market forces do its thing. And admittedly, it might work to some extent with Harsa Chandra. I think someone actually brought Harsa Chandra to Worlds. I think we saw a bit of their deck on day 1A. I'm often too poor for Psycho if they go tag me and keep the board down like you did. We can only keep them down for so long, right? But like, that's the difference if you play one single scrubber, which I think is something you can totally do in a Shaper deck. Like 2 cards to trash things a turn is immense. Go after the portal's 100% the way to beat this deck. Oh, I don't see who would leave a portal up. Shaper doesn't have enough econ or draw. Nice to have a corp give it to you. Yeah, I know, right? They really helped us out. People like card draw. Shaper does, yeah. Yeah, no, personalized portal is just way too much money. Like they can get 4 credits to start a turn, which is exactly like fully funding their focus group, which is now even juicier. So you can probably leave 1 Agroplex, but from that point on, like, I don't know. We also had Lat Draw and Agroplex, and we're still like, I don't know. I've seen people just try and get down to 1-2 cards in hand every turn, but leave it up. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool too. Prisha does most of the same thing as Scrubber. Yeah, you're not wrong. Prisha you can SMC out. It costs 0. The difference with Prisha, it's only assets, which largely is what you're dealing with. Against controlling the message, there's more resources you have to deal with. But sometimes having the Prisha not being able to trash the resource actually, or sorry, did I say resource upgrade? Not having it to trash the upgrade is sometimes a niche benefit. But yeah, Harish and Hyobu are way too underused. If you're talking about like competitive Netrunner, no, I don't really think so. I think Harsa Chandra is like very, very bad, and I think Hyobu is even, I think like if you wanted to do the thing that Hyobu does, it's probably not the best idea to use Hyobu tricks with. Right? If you wanted to do the whole hand denial Salem's, neither of those are the best identity to do them within. Can't focus group if you only have like 3 cards in hand, even if the forced draw. Yeah, I totally. I wish I could just discard my stuff. I don't know if I've ever even played a Harsa Chandra deck. I'm not even confident I'm saying it correctly. Like imagine playing Adam against this with 3 hand size and you just never install your brain chip, which you don't need to because you're getting free card draw. And then they're trying to like, I guess in that matchup, it's really easy for them because you're showing all your cards with Find the Truth. Uh-oh. So it's quite easy for them to like get a perfect what's it called? Isn't the only reason to play Hearts of Chandra is the 17 influence? Oh, at this point, not even more, because you have Nearest Hub, but it was meant to be like a reason why you'd consider it at least. But like Nearest Hub has 17. That's a really good idea. I reminded someone who said that Gagarin is a bad idea that looked good. Yo, Gagarin, you saw in our testing, was actually quite. So what we said specifically when we saw Gagarin is I said Gagarin's actually quite bad. A lot of the North American players, like you're looking at 2 missed bones, 3 missed bones. And if you can't get the board state down early, it's over. And I think I remember specifically saying the one way that Gagarin can be quite good is that if you get like false leads into the list. And that's honestly the Gagarin list that did really well. There was another one that was Fast Advance, which doesn't play so much like a Gagarin kill deck. It just kind of plays like an old, basically Titan Transnational Fast Advance Fork deck. And that one did really well too. We didn't see a lot of it on stream, but that actually did well as well. But like you saw the matchups where the Gagarin thing happened to Gagarin. I think the best thing you could say about Gagarin going into Worlds is that there was so much Max, and Max is not as able to trash things as quickly as, you know, back in the day 419 or like you saw the weeks that we played Gagarin. It looked awful, like awful, because everyone was like Miss Bones turn 1, good game. That just didn't happen. We can just play NEH now. I think the only thing I've seen Hearts of Chandra played when Terminal 7 voters picked it for Nels. Oh, no way. Where did Nels have to play it? All right, Restoring Humanity. This might be a grinder, honestly. Thanks, you too. Koshé generally brews interesting things. So opening hand, we have the Beth, which sometimes can be an issue because Beth does give you card draw. And you don't always want card draw. Casual is very different competitive. Oh, totally. Diogene. Casual is so much different than competitive. And when you're talking about like what's going to work at Worlds, it's obviously a different thing. Didn't see much, if any, imp in Max. Yeah, the only imp you saw in Max was in like Virus Max. I think just casually. Oh, he had to play casually. Okay. Otherwise, like this opening hand is abstractly good, but if it's against Grinder, like I don't know what you want. I have no idea what we want. Against Grinder, like we have very few tricks, right? Like we can get Steve. We don't have any way to destroy Kakugos. Boy, Hushik is kind of nice because you don't have to deal with traps. Like that could be one of our game plans. It's just like deal with Hushik. Honestly, early Beth is okay, but like I don't like any of the other cards. That's probably not better. Koshé was trying to jam Marathon and Ken last I talked to him. Heck yeah. Killed someone on Double Bones Lou with J Mercs earlier. Jonas list is definitely good. Killed someone on Double Bones Lou with J Mercs? With Urogniv Mercenaries? Which J Mercs? Urogniv? Just easy. Imp the Kakugos before they get installed. It's always a strat. Uh-oh, too late. We lost. If this is a grinder, I'm actually going to be kind of unhappy. I really don't ever want to play against that deck again. When are they going to be like, Worlds is over? We took Kagugo out. You can play with PE again. Okay. All right, so we want to just set up as little as we can. They might not be scoring out. I want to get an SMC on the table so that at least it looks like we can vaguely threaten shipment from Tenon, which would be nice. Rozeki's our best economy in the matchup. So I think we want to install those two. So we can probably draw once more. With 8 credits, I don't want to face check because we hit the spider. We're in a really bad spot. Actually, we could consider DZMZ first. We could do DZMZ and then the Rozeki. I feel like how much value we're going to get out of this over the game. This is really important if we do Brahmin, which I feel like we're not really incentivized to do Brahmin. So maybe we're going to lose a credit off of that. Maybe we could have done that first. Pretty sure on Spike. How do we deal with Neurospike? Imp. But we have no like way to quick draw, right? Pat Dash was the most impactful of Worlds. I would have thought Mad Dash would have been more impactful. I think Mad Dash was... So I think what I said is that Mad Dash would be in 100% of the decks at the top cut. And I think I was wrong by one deck. I think 15 out of 16 decks had Mad Dash. Pat Tab is obviously incredibly powerful. And even just the good stuff max. Okay, it's not Grinder anymore. The good stuff max are going to play. But Pat Tab is just such an incredible card. And it also gives like such a big opportunity for your opponent to misplay into it. Which is, don't undervalue that. Yeah, Urogniv. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Do you have double spike by having them at 5 cards and lat takes you to 6? Yeah, you're right. If they hold that many, we can lat to 6. That's for sure. Yeah, we could overclock the remote, but if we have to put down echelon, it's gonna be pretty miserable. Like any matchup that's hard to get a read. Like I don't know how to read this. You start playing wildly. So I think we just have to stick to fundamentals, which again, I don't know how to do that in Shaper. So we're going to be in some hot water. Okay, so we have to deal with Obokata eventually. Pantograph is just like going to be maybe a 3 credit card throughout the game. Lot drawing up to 6 at the end of turn beats Neuro, so it might be your opponent end under 5. Yeah, I think if the opponent understands how Lat works, they're going to try and keep their hand low, which means Imp doesn't really like isn't it really advantageous for us? I feel like we just need to get our economy up, and the problem is like, look at the Shaper hand. How do you get your economy up? Say you're a Shaper and you need to get your money next turn. How do you do it? How do you do it? Literally all of these are like, this will pay out in 3 turns. This is what frustrates me about Shaper. I want to do something now, and none of these cards let me do something now. Still, fix Max. Rongi, how's it going? Is she a Gmod? Also, Neto, oh, thank you. Great commentating on the weekend. Really added to the excitement. Hey, cheers. Glad you enjoyed it. SMC for Zeki. Overclock to do it? That feels awful. And then we can't threaten Echelon. Like, we can't run. That can't be right. You cheat install Mopus. I really don't like Shaper. There's no way that's the right thing to do is overclock for Mopus. I mean, for Rizeki. There's no way. Because even then, that's like payoff in 4 turns. And then we spend 2 cards to do it. Ugh. Overclock a spin? That's the worst idea. If they just pop it and then the run's over. I'd rather overclock archives, I guess. I guess we, in theory, have a timing window. But man, do I not. You're looking at hands like this and like, what do you do? Like, none of this is going to do anything in the next, like, 2 to 3 turns. Like, it's frustrating. I feel like the DZ's actually more value than Penta. I'm drawing. That's fine. We can throw that out. And I guess maybe we'll rely on that on Brahmin if they spike, what's it called? Lock down us. Like, this is our turn. Draw 1, click for credit. We get the Rizeki first, and then you have 1 credit left to throw in the trash. Yeah, but if they just pop it, like, what are we doing? You know? Okay, that means they'll have cards in hand, which is good, I guess. Like, if they just pop it, the run's over, or overclock fizzles. So it's not gonna happen. Honestly, though, is the right thing to overclock down for your Rizeki? Because if that is how you play the faction, oh my god, I'm not interested. You get the first window to pop first? Yes. On our turn, we get priority. That's totally true. That we could say, like, we're done. Do you want to pop it? Well, yo, Pat, how's it going? How's your Worlds, man? I didn't have enough time to talk to you about it because I think after Worlds, I was also exhausted. As were probably most people in Worlds. I guess we slowly draw up. Like, we're just hoping to draw into economy. We did it. Clicked, like, install Pantograph. Like, that's what we have to do is, like, hope that we're relevant in a couple turns. Hey, we played into that perfectly. Man, Shaper's frustrating. That's fine. That's fine. Time to, what are you even using the SMC for? I don't know. I'm using the SMC for once we have to run. Like, as soon as they install advanced something in server 2, then we like overclock SMC the remote. Hopefully we have a simul chip, right? Like, we have to do something. Overclock and Rizeki are exactly the opposite ends of the speed curve. That seems super bad. I know. This happened last game where it sat on the table forever instead of being useful. Yeah, but our opponent, Arzon, did not respect the Clot. They never gave us Clot priority. So this is a Lacosta potentially into a 5-3. Which I think we're okay with if they spend 8 credits to score out of 5-3 on the sports state. Right? They can't neurospike us. Could they neurospike us here? They need to double neurospike us. So they would have to do like res that. They'd hand have to be like neurospike, and then seamless or something ridiculous. I don't think it's going to happen. Had a great time. It's one of the first top level events where I didn't start to get a headache towards the end of power of hydration. Yo, that's good. Clear mind, man. Hot accesses. Hydrated mind. What else do you need? Like, I'm gonna install daily cast and click for 3. Like, how awful does this sound? It sounds awful. I guess we can install an imp and hope that's not a 4-2 that purges. Just to get the card draw here. Like, this, look, I don't like this as much as anywhere. You don't like it? Think about how I feel, you know? Shaper mini faction milk course. How's it going? Viral. It's a sandbox. We did it. We installed an imp into a sandbox. Choose a card to install. Fantastic. We should have installed that off of the pantograph, but then actually, yeah, their triggers would go first. It wouldn't get purged. Full bladder, clear mind. It's the name of an indie album. Like, do we just start running HQ here? Do we just overclock HQ and hope that we need one breaker? Yeah, I know we have simulchip fodder, totally. We just need a simulchip. Like, I'm not going to do anything. I think we just have to run. I feel like we just have to run. We're just running. We're just going. We don't have enough cards for Obokata. That's fine. There's a Cyber Trooper Talent. We can't install that with Prognostic. It has to be a program. But we'll shuffle with self-modifying code. Don't forget you can gamble install with Q-Loop on Corpse turn. Yeah, I don't want to do that on this board state. Like, what are we looking for? Yeah, it's a non-C. That's like worst case scenario by, I think, a mile. So we have to like pop this for Echelon, which is very bad at this, if I'm not mistaken. Like, incredibly bad. 3 for 2 strength, and it comes in at 1 strength. Oh, we're never going to financially recover from this. You could do egret plus paperclip. We'd have to do it on approach, right? So we could egret this and then I think you're right. Egret paperclip is actually the best, but then we're kind of in a really bad spot. Is Brahmin better here? I really doubt it. Because Brahmin comes in for 6. It's better than, I think it's better than Echelon. I don't think it's better than egret paperclip. But Brahmin comes in. And then we still have to boost 2 for 1 strength. So we're going to spend 2, 4, 5, 6 to break it anyways. That doesn't seem that much better than Echelon. So I think we missed the window here. That's the problem. I think we're going to not get offered the paperclip thing. So we're going to have to undo the run, I think. This deck description says that it's very bad and also do not play. I know. We learned nothing. Okay, let's see this again. We definitely should have drawn once. Like, we should be accessing with 4 cards. If we hit a Bologna here after we play like 300 cards to do this, like, obviously very, very bad. So we're already like in a bad thing. You want to res? Okay, because we have to do this here. Just so that I think the egret's installed at the right time. DZ's only first time, so yeah, we barely have enough money. Wow, 4 credits is really good. Every green deck should probably have that in the description. The little voice in your head saying play the deck list of the week. Yo, it's a problem. They can't second and non-CS. They can macrophage us though. That's bad. Boy. Don't worry, we'll eventually trace through this. So they're gonna get 4 credits off of this. So they res this for +1. The traces, honestly, goodbye imp. So we're not gonna have fodder for the simulchip. We should have quit while we were ahead. I know, we really should have. But cost chase seemed gained. Now they can boost this trace, otherwise it's trace 1 and we're in. Which again, we can't steal Obokata, and they can fire snare. Like, a big part that we had going on here was that we were destabilizing that economically, but the macrophage felt like the opposite. 5 credits. Do we run server 2? I think we run server 2. You get the macro, and it costs only 6 with clip. Stupid fucking piece of ah, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. We're at 2-2-2-3. So we're definitely going to draw once. Do we run server 2 to get out, what's it called? Like, we could consider running this to deal with the anoetic right now. I feel like we're going to. Like, we're just going to start crashing into stuff, and then we'll draw last click maybe. Maybe we die to Saisentan. I don't know. It seems likely we could die to Saisentan, actually. Yeah, we'll almost 100% die to Saisentan. Unless they call, I don't know, program. Yeah, there. You deal with anoetic. That's a win. We came out on top. All right. It's actually our turn in secret. They're using the Spin Doctor to shovel back in the anoetic and a hedge fund. They have 5 credits, and they can just purge for 4 if they want to click for credits here. Again, we're going to try and win off Hushik, which we've seen, I think, very little influence. We've seen only government subsidies 1. Spin Doctor is 1. This is Restoring Humanity ability, which I don't think it's fired yet. I think there's games at Worlds where you see Restoring Humanity not fire once. Yeah, there you go. It's just purge. Okay. All right. At least we gained 3 credits. Now, what do you do with the Shaper hand? Like, how do you get value out of this? Ugh. Ugh. We could have hit that blindly, but it would have been useless. That's fine. I think we're going to install a Simul chip and then hit the Critic Commission button, and we'll get a free card draw value. All right, let's go. Okay, this isn't scrolling. Look, I didn't like Shaper before it was cool, so. Now, Koshche has a remote, and we're still going to struggle. Like, Echelon's not good until we install, like, literally everything, so we have it in hand. I think we probably do just play it. Like, I think we're just going to have to basically, we're going to have to bite the apple. We're going to have to enjoy the idea that we're going to install our DZMZ and then install this for 1. And then every turn we're going to try and install an Icebreaker until we have Echelon and Unity that breaks everything for pennies. Hopefully we install another Roseki at some point. Please don't make us run this. Please, sir. I don't want to run this. I'm not going to run this. Maybe we will actually run this, but we don't have SMC. Let's draw into SMC. Do we really want a diesel here? Because I think our turn is like Echelon. We could probably draw 1 more, but at that point it seems like I think we're just going to get this down on the table and then just click for credit. Or actually, we probably want to draw once and we'll throw out the Q loop and still mandatory draw. Oh, or lat draw. This is good. The Beth is good. It's also a 2, which is good. But now this is coming in at 2 strength. I'm a little worried about playing my first Shaper deck in Startup Journey this weekend. Startup is totally different. Oh, wow. It was a Longevity Serum. Okay. That's probably fine. I wouldn't worry about it too much. Shaper was fine in Startup. There's less things you have to deal with in Startup. Choose a card to install. Beth. Hell yeah. Oh, good. Yeah, no. Startup is totally different, I think. Right, like, none of these cards are Startup cards anyways. All right, so they're abstractly on game point. So we want to make sure we always have enough cards in hand to deal with the Bologna. And the problem is we have to also deal with this thing. So I think we're actually going to sure gamble and run the remote to hopefully deal with Anoetic. They didn't res when they were on 5 credits. Let's see what they do on 6. And maybe we even install the Brahmin. We haven't seen an IP block. Play some Big Macs after to feel good again. I know, it's just everything's free. Paperclip? What? Why is Paperclip a trigger here? It's an Euler. Wow. That's actually good. And we'll keep it on top of our deck. We install that for 1 credit on their turn. That's actually cool. Oh, but we might lat draw it. I don't think we're going to lat draw. There's another Anoetic, so that's actually quite good. So we can install this for 2. It takes up 2 MU. And then that's our whole Doom rig, right? Do we Hushik right now? Yeah, you're probably right, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's an Euler on top. So, yeah, why not? We can throw out this whole hand. We can probably. You can use a Q loop to see if it decoder. Yeah, if we need a decoder, we pull it here. The only issue is if this is an Obokata, which so far we haven't seen any, we have to get rid of our whole hand. I'm going to Prognostic, which is really cool. Because now we have apparently 7. How? 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why does it say 7 cards? Wait. Why does it say 7 cards? Oh, Egret. Oh, Egret. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7. Yeah, okay. So we didn't need to do that. So there's a sandbox. We'll take that. If we had another click, we could have gone back in. Choose a card to install. Oh, that's really cute. So if we actually install a card here, we get a card draw. So we'll put that in a DJ Fenris. The issue is that we don't really want to get, I think we actually will Los here because I don't think running HQ is going to be that simple for a while. This is 4 credits. This is going to be eventually still a lot of credits. So at this point, I think we actually would consider either Reina or Los. What do you guys think? I'm not very comfortable with Max because we still don't know if this deck is on Obokata. But I would actually be between Los, which gives us 2 cards whenever they res, which seems good, or Reina. I think we're going to do the Los. I like the idea of Los. Thank you. Oh, we had a Rizeki there. Could have left that and installed it for free. I'm actually going to pay the button. I'm going to hit the button this turn. And hopefully we get like a simul chip or something. But our Doom Rig is basically now a thing. And we have another, what's it called coming in? A Hushik. We also can always trash this to install it if we really need to. We still have a Cyber Trooper to loot somewhere in the 18 cards. Do we hit the button? I guess we do hit the button, right? We're only getting 2 credits next turn. So that's a lot. I actually don't know if we need to hit the button. Yeah, they're just going to purge. Do we hit the button, chat? Yeah, let's go. That's a daily cast. No. Button was useless. Andre, how's it going? Julian, it's going well. How's your worlds? I think we just Hushik here to start, right? We have no way to burst economy. Should have waited to Q loop it on the corp turn. We can't because we drew it with Lat Saltmere. We could have considered not drawing it just to get it down. You're right. Because that actually probably was worth it because then we'd get it down for 1 credit and it would have fired. So it would have been free. That's probably better than drawing it. Not seeing RD is potentially a problem. If it is, we always just like put the E-grid on it and then we're fine. So I think we just do it. Need 5 credits for that. We install the E-grid for free and then we break it for 4. I think that's our plan. 7-7 worlds as usual. That wall is hard to break. That's a really good score though. I don't think that's anything to be embarrassed about. And we have a creative commission into a talent, which is good. We want those. All right, off-world office and a global food initiative. I feel like we'd rather steal the food initiative so that there's just less 5/3s in their deck, so they have to score awkward agendas. We also could have considered running and then Hushiking for a shuffle, which might have just been better. We get this down for free, which is good. They have 10 credits. They still didn't res. I'm just gonna run R&D. I feel like we have to get singles. We have a turning wheel somewhere. We also shuffled our... No, we didn't shuffle our deck. So we have creative commission next, right? Oh. Oh, that's annoying. We still only win in 4 agenda steals. This doesn't seem that impactful. Like, we still win in 4 agendas, right? I think you want to steal the off-world there. Why do you think so, Titan? I feel like I want them to score 4 agendas, so we want to take the 5/3 out of their deck. Harder to score a GFI? Harder for us to score a GFI? Or harder for them to score? Because it's harder for them, yeah. I think so. I think we just diesel here, and then we can creative commission or put the daily cast down. We already have 2 drip coming in. I feel like we just want to burst because we can't play this, and we want to be ready for to charge the remote server. The way I see it, right? Like for them, if we steal all the GFIs, they have to score out 2 more agendas, which is a bit easier for us because they're all 4/2s. And so far we haven't seen Lacosta or Seamless. So I'd rather them have to do that than just install advanced events and we can't get in 1 turn with the Anoetic and we lose. I think we always steal the 5/3 there. Unless it's no Bakata and we care for our hand. It also means we have more triggers of Pantograph eventually if they've scored 2 out of agendas, which also can matter. I don't know if we're hitting the prognostic button this turn. Like, I just don't know how many relevant targets there are. We're looking at, I think, 1 simul chip. Oh, 2 simul chips. That's actually kind of relevant. If we hit a misdirection, like we don't care. If we hit SMC, we can't install it. So I don't actually think it's worth doing. Genotyping. So that gets cards face down to archives. So there's a reason for us to start by running archives. They'll get the credit anyways, but it'll stop it in the future, which is kind of relevant. They haven't resed ice yet, which we got to remember Los too. If they did res in the Nancy there, we'd get 2 credits back. They shuffled Rashida, Anoetic, and unseen cards. So there's only 1 unseen in archives. If we want to run that to deny them a credit across turns, that might be worth it. But that's kind of the power of this ability. It's annoying. We didn't Steve. Yeah, right. Because that's how we play our Hushiks over and over again. But I think at this point we just we play turning wheel run. I feel like Steve would have been better just to get single Hushik back. Yeah, Thanos, I was just thinking about that. Like, that actually sounds kind of good. But at this point, I think we just hammer Centrals. They're in 17 credits. Wow. Because they stock buybacked. Oh, that's why they're playing News Team. Because like News Team on its own doesn't change how many agendas we need to win unless we're specifically paying Mad Dash, which maybe that's like the meta reason to do that. And maybe also it's the only card they can think of that poisons their archives, you know, convincingly. Which also tracks. Now, yeah, once we can deal with this for 4 credits, and then we can deal with this with Link, with Cyber Trooper Telud, yeah, actually HQ is not that bad. And Hujik seems really, really strong in the matchup. I think we just have to run R&D here and force them to spend credits. How many more breakers do we have? Do we ever just install Brahmin from hand? That doesn't save anything with the Echelon, so I don't think so. It's a Unity on top. That's honestly not that bad. It's a DNA tracker. Okay. So the Unity would come in at... Hold on one second. Unity is 1 strength. Then we have to get up to 6. So we'd have to boost twice. That actually seems like it's worth pulling. Otherwise, we have to do it with this, which is awkward. It would be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I think we're going to hit the prognostic button. We got 2 credits off Los. They spent good money, so we'll break that for 5. 5 for breaking this is pretty good. Obviously, they have good ice. Here, it could be an issue if we run into a spider specifically, but they didn't res a spider before. So I'm not sure what this is. But maybe they just want to keep us off Los. Speak of the spider. Okay. Now, if we install the daily cast, we're a bit low on credits. I don't think we want to install the Cyber Trooper Talud here. The Cyber Trooper Talud lets us deal with the DNA tracker for 1 credit, which is nice. Or sorry, 2 credits, which is nice. So we could consider doing Simulchip, install daily cast, but if they install Advance, we're in a bad spot. But I think we need the Talud to deal with HQ. We need to consider running HQ because this is 4 and then we can trace through that for like 2 credits. So I think we'd rather just install these 2, but that's all our money. So that's awkward. I think we'll do that just get the free card draw and we'll just click for credits for the rest of the turn. In fact, we don't go down to 0 credits. They have such a big window then. We basically would start our turn gaining 2 credits, maybe 2 cards. If we top deck a creative commission, we still have overclock. Yeah, maybe we can get away with it, but this is greedy. I don't think like we can get really punished here. But yeah, Hippo was so good on the weekend, and man, I'm just so jealous of Hippo. Like even as Shaper, we're paying a lot of money to break this ice. Like it's like you'd think, oh, you're the best breakers in the world. Classic looking Shaper rig, I know. Subsidy for 15. Okay, so now we have a window though. We have 5 clicks, which is nice. So here I don't think we run. I think we just start camping the remote. The problem is Anoetic. We need to get our political operative on the table, and we still haven't drawn it yet. Still haven't drawn it yet. No MU. We could install a Simulchip and click for credits. Yeah, probably okay. If we install 2 Simulchips and we'd be down to 2 credits, we click for credit, we get a free card draw. I just don't think we're going to need 3 Simulchips before the game's over. I think we're just going to click for credits. I feel like Misdirection and SMC are equally useless. There's like no way we'd ever install Misdirection. There's some way we'd install SMC. So I'm going to keep the self-modifying code. Actually, Misdirection, yeah, if we hit up enough news teams. They're getting a credit a turn from archives, mind you. We could consider running that, but the difference between them having 16 and 17 credits, it's not that relevant. Admittedly, if most of their ice so far has been really expensive. We know they've an unseen hand. Yeah, you say that now before taking 10 news team tags. No, I know. At least here we can like get it with Simulchip. And now with Talud, there's actually a reason why we like trash our own breakers to make Echelon come in at like, 6 strength for a turn. Hansei review. Okay. They have 21 credits. Are they a punitive list? They're pushing for the remote. I think we could consider running HQ here. The issue is how expensive is it? When they're in 20 credits, luckily, like we don't care if the trace 4 fires, but we care about the trace 1. And at that point, they'll have enough money to like boost into that trace. We could also consider breaking this. We have how many installed programs? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'd have to boost this 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 4 for this, 4 for that. I feel like we can afford that. In fact, we can overclock it pretty safely as well. That's probably a Nancy on server 2. I think we want to overclock HQ here. I'd love to have another turning wheel token. Like that issues like we have no multi-axis now that we play 2 Hushiks. It's all just like this turning wheel, and it's very expensive for us to get it going. I'll do this on HQ, I think. Prognostic. On top is a DZMZ, which I don't think we need, and a diesel. Yo, man, breaking this for 4 is amazing. Unity's 2+2? Oh, yeah, wait. I was looking at this, right? I was thinking of Unity. We want to boost it twice and break 2. Yeah, that's way better. This rig is ridiculous. Yo, Chris, this is how you're meant to play Shaper. And luckily, you hope for a deck that lets you go far enough. Go slow enough that you can do this. So we'll break the first and the last, I think. It only costs us 1 to deny him 4 credits. That's probably worth doing. And these other ones don't actually matter. We have no more viruses, so we're just going to skip it. It has interesting subroutines. Hedge fund. Okay, bummer. But at least we have an odd, even amount of tokens here. So we're going to draw into... we're not going to draw, unfortunately, into our... what's it called? Hold on, into our political operative, but I think if we prognostic Q loop down our simulchip and then click to draw for the diesel, we have a chance of finding the political operative, which solves a lot of our issues. Now ping 2 for or 3 for a DZ, sorry, is a lot. I thought it was a simulchip. No pull up. That's a bummer. That's actually a real bummer. We can get the Rozeki down for free, which is fine. Now we can click for credit. If we got the pull up there, it's such a different game, but political operatives in our bottom 4 cards, which is an issue because we can't afford to run HQ that much. But the political operative will deal with the DZMZ, so that'll get us a bit further. Because if they jam Anoetic in the remote server, like we can't do anything. The best part here, though, is they can't score a 5-3 and an Anoetic in the same turn. Like they just have to install one and then install one the next turn, or like not threaten to score it out. The issue is like we're trying to win off of we need 2 more agendas. We have no mad dash and a turning wheel and 2 counters, and we have no more Hushiks, no recursion. Yeah, maybe Steve's always the right choice, just because of the recursion's much more powerful than the 2 credits we're gonna get off Lowe's. We're probably gonna get 4 credits off Lowe's. They played the hedge fund. Okay, now if there's a border control, we're done. 1 card in hand. That's probably an Anoetic, so we might want to consider locking the top of R&D. We break this for 5. We could consider oilering it and breaking it. Yeah, I think we simulchip this to break this for less. So I think we have to lock the top 2 of R&D, assuming that that's either the Anoetic and they don't have an agenda in hand. I think we'll just try and lock the top of R&D. We have 22 credits though. So we'll open with this. We have still 5 clicks. We'll run R&D here. Why would you run that? Run this remote server? I'm not gonna. I'm gonna run R&D. And FTW? Wait, sorry, I don't understand. R&D for the win, yes. Daily cast political operative. Okay, there it is. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this to trash our oiler, to install an oiler. So it comes in for 4 strength. So we break this for just 2 credits, which is really quite good. That's what you want to do with Shaper, huh? Yeah, they could definitely res this. They haven't resed it when they were on like 10 credits. It's a Chiashi. Oh, we actually could consider running a remote server. Okay, that's some credits. We don't have an AI installed, so we're not going to lose our rest of our deck. That is 7 credits. No bones about it. We could like trash this to reinstall it somehow. I don't think so. Honestly, like this deck would be, I think, okay with... No, we'd only be pawning the paperclip. That's probably not worth it. Wait, Oiler doesn't break barriers, does it? No. You're thinking of Penrose, I think. Oh, shit. I was meant to use the turning wheel. Okay, now the news teams are actually going to matter because we're going to have to steal a couple agendas. We'll get this. This will be fast. How many credits have you made off lows? Because it seems like we made 6 credits off of installing 3-cross resource. We've made 4 credits off installing a 3-cross resource. So very bad. I feel like we were scared of this server and we shouldn't have been. We would have got the way that we would close the game off, which is just getting hopefully 1 more Hushik. So you're 100% right. It was the wrong call, and we're have a huge loss in win rate because of that decision. Access cards off of R&D, yeah. So we can take this as 2 tags. Probably don't want to do that. If we add it to our score area, we're on 2 agenda points. We have to steal so many agendas to win. That's frustrating. At least that rebounds us. Choose a card to install. Okay. All right. Well, great. Now the 3rd one doesn't do anything, so we could consider running archives. If we hit a CVS, they gain 4 credits. Honestly, getting Huship back with Steve would have been better for sure. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I wonder if we run server 2 here. I think we would consider running server 2 because now we've reset the oiler. We want to get the anoetic down again. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Because this oiler breaks code gates. Like, we're going to break DNA trackers. They can't res Chiashis. Yeah, I think we're going to do it. I don't know what we're going to do for our last 2 clicks. We probably should have planned it a bit better. I forget what's on top of our deck. I think it's something into a polyp. Now we'll see if they have like a border control here, which would be fine for us. Or if they had a surveyor, that gets a bit awkward. Because we can't really deal with the surveyor. We'll probably just do the trace 8. Do we turn off the drip after this? Yeah, maybe. If we hit a CVS, it's like all for nothing. And I don't think we have seamlesses yet, but we haven't seen enough influence. Okay. Deeper we go. On a journey to find a surveyor. Oh, it's an enunciate. Okay, now they're on 2 credits. Yeah, now we'd consider it. Get the polyp for anoetic. We haven't run HQ yet, so we can't really do it. This is breakable. We could trash this to install it. So this breaks it for right now 3, or we could trash this and break it for, sorry, we have to break this for 6, or we could trash this to break it for 3. Is the silent chip worth 3 credits? We can also egret this to break it for 4, but then HQ is kind of off limits. Oh, you can't trash it. Yeah, you're totally right, because we've used the silent chip clause. Yeah, Milkers, that's a good point. Tread lightly would have been amazing here. Tread lightly would have been pretty good. We would have got a free anoetic trash if we tread lightly. Nope. It's no problem. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so we just have to go through this. Luckily on 2 credits we'll be okay, and we'll still be able to trash an anoetic. The issue is that our economy is gutted. So the problem is that we can't trash cards at random or at will because we've already trashed a card with silent chip. So now if they can res like an IP block, it's gross. A vanilla would be okay, but we can't trash the anoetic. Oh, Rashida. Wow. Okay. It's another one cost 1. Now, if we run archives, like we maybe, I don't know, it saves them 1 credit, but I think we need to just click for credits. That I don't think it's worth flipping them. I do know the thing on the top of our deck is not prognosticable. And they just drew into, we don't know. They purged. Okay. Okay, so we can run HQ again. We have a credit from Beth. It's a lot of drip. Daily cast is over. So this is 4. This is 4. Then we can get down our thing. If we draw, we can get down our. Oh, that's good. Are we thinking no Obo because of GFI? I think no Obo. I think they're on GFI. Now that Chiashi is the really annoying one. I don't think it gets that much better. If we egret it, like what do we do? Unity is probably only not even that much better. If we egret it, we have to boost. So this boosts 4 a pop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's not that much word. Prognosticable? That's a word. It's definitely a word. We'd have to hope they don't steal the food. And oh my god, I wish we had Steve. If we had Steve here, we'd actually have like a pretty cogent game plan. So I think they can't. So I think we're just going to credit up. I think we're just going to draw into that. We're going to put this down and click for credit. And we're just going to siege the remote server. We haven't seen enough influence that I'm pretty sure that there's border controls on the remote as well, which is, going to be a problem. Is Brahmin ever worth installing? It comes in as 3 strength, so that's already bad because we're paying 4 at a minimum to interact with any of these ice. When we have no cards left in our deck, we don't have to worry about the Chiashi AI clause. But I feel like the amount of loops you have to go through to make Brahmin good to me doesn't make sense, right? Like it's 2 MU, it's 4. And then on top of that, like you have to reinstall the card, which costs you a minimum 1 with prognostic. So like what are you saving here on? What is it this does not work with Cyber Trooper to loot because an AI. Like literally what are we gaining from Brahmin? What does Brahmin do that other breakers don't do better besides being a one-stop solution? But at this point, like just play Ngolo, right? Like Ngolo just seems better than this. And that's the thing is like, I think I saw some games, Shorty is uploading their games and they're playing stealth smoke. And I just feel like Ngolo and stealth smoke is just kind of probably better than worrying about the stealth credits. You can play Mantle to get Q loop for free and live the dream. That I like. Miss me, Brahmin, hit me, Maven. Is Maven still legal? Brahmin can be used to set up tally boosts on your breakers again. Oh, that's true. That's actually cute. If you use it though. But yeah, that's cute. It doesn't tax out. Do we run server 3? What's server 2? I'm assuming it's an Anoetic or Rashida. We can't run it. I wanted to do Kit, Q loop, Flameout, Euler, Brahmin, 2 extra influence would help that deck. Yeah, Kit needs a bit more influence. So we have no turning with tokens. We still have to steal 2 agenda points. Like, do we just click 4? They didn't discard any cards. We could like have a play with political operative on HQ. Like, I think we just click 4 here. On still this, click 3. Like, is that a play? Is this what a play looks like? Schaefer net installer, corp, score 7. Like, what is our play here? We're struggling. Like, we just don't have, I don't know. Bounce HQ? Maybe we pay 4 to bounce HQ. Paying 4 for turning with a token doesn't seem. It doesn't seem like a thing we can afford to do. Yoler plus Plangi is a lot of power, but I think all the current shapers are a bit slow for it. Yeah, Plangi is like an incredibly powerful card that people stopped worrying about. So they spin doctored before start of turn to put back in the stock buyback and government subsidy. It's a Rashida in the remote. So they're more than likely to draw into, like, that stock buyback is going to be like 300 credits. I mean, you have Rozekis, but everyone has Rozekis. You get 6 per turn? On what? 4 isn't that bad. Shapers, I can break ice with lots of tricks. I know. Install advanced event. So we have to run this. We haven't seen any NGO fronts. They only have 10 credits. The question is, how often can we rerun this remote server? This one feels like a time that we'll have to probably echelon Simon chip. And we just have to do it cleverly. So I think we're just going to run it. If it's an NGO front, we probably lose the game. We haven't seen an NGO front. You think they're on NGO front? There's 13 cards left. We would have seen an NGO front. Nice Euro game you got there. Yeah. So we're going to spend our first worker running server 2. And then I'm going to fence off 2 pastures. Ah, shit, I don't have enough wood. Let's go. Yo, man, Agricola is a really good game. Am I the only one who loves Agricola? If anyone says, do you want to play Agricola? I will play Agricola at any hour of the day. Okay. So I'm going to trash this to trash the Euler and probably no. If they can't, unless it's an NGO front, I'm not worried. Otherwise, we could consider double trashing. Like we trash while we install so that we can get the Euler trick. But I feel like we're just going to trash the echelon to install the echelon. Okay, break for 3. Starvation simulator. I love it. It's so stress inducing. So that's the sort of idea, like, you know, the idea that video games or art can make you experience and feel something. And I'm aware playing a board game is never going to be like akin to like subsistence farming in the 16th century or 13th century, whenever Agricola takes place. But it does make you feel something, which is fantastic. Like, oh my God, I need to survive. This has to be an NGO front. Which I love it. Would you like to play some Agricola? Yes, thank you, please. Oh, I goofed it. I goofed it. Should be good. Yeah, we still break this for 3. I just did it at the wrong time. Oof. Let me... Wow, we'll just do this. I forgot that was automated. Haha, we got 6 credits off our 3 credit install. Take that, daily casts. Stupid card. Not a game per se, but I'm crushing my Duolingo league at the moment. 500 XP ahead of a person in second place. Jazz. Okay, let's talk about Duolingo. Firstly, I dropped my like 50-day streak, and now it's a struggle for me to get back in there. Honestly, it's hard because I look at it and I look at that 0, and it's sad. It honestly is sad, and it's a constant reminder that I'm a failure and I don't want to hang out in that space. So not going great. Secondly, it's an NGO front, of course it is. Show me the DNA tracker. Secondly, if you have streak freezes and you start your league on day 2 or day 1 of the week, not on day 0 at midnight, your league is so much easier. So if you want to like bomb through your league, just wait and start it on like a Tuesday evening, because then it's going to be all the slackers that forgot to do Duolingo for 2 days and only do it like every other day, or, you know, are not really serious about it. You could win every league. As soon as you like break through it on like day 0 at like midnight, everyone there is so sweaty. Aren't there the broken streak things you can equip? You can, yeah, you can have up to 2. But I through Worlds, I forgot. I drew 3 days in a row. I did not refresh them, so it's on me. Okay, we only have 4 cards left, so we're gonna have to keep all of them. Oh, now I played that, and now we can't political operative. I feel like that was a mistake. I feel like that was definitely a mistake. So we probably just run HQ here because we break this for 3, and then we can get some good accesses because they have cards, and we can get the pull up down. There's no OBA. Yeah, I think there's no OBA. It's fine. I just don't want to risk it. What language are you learning? French. Because my French has only gotten worse. OBA isn't real. It can't hurt you. Yeah, my French is it's got only worse after this last year of like being a lockdown. Add 1 strength. Oh, I'm using the wrong breaker. Whoops. Are we really gonna play Shaper all night? Tu n'es pas un raté? I don't honestly know what raté means. It's a Hansei. That's upsetting. We spent a lot of money on that, but this could pay off eventually. And I think we just click for credits. We're still getting 3 a turn. Feels like a mood having to Duolingo for French play in French Canada. Well, there's a lot of people doing it, right? Like the issue too is, and this has been like a substantial issue since I was a kid, learning French just like 6 hours left in Ontario, is that the French that they teach you there in school, the French that they teach you on Duolingo is like European French. It's like Parisian French. So the accent is different. Some of the words are just straight up different. It's not that no one's going to understand you, but like it was kind of ridiculous that I spent like 9 years learning French in Ontario, and then I just drive 6 hours that direction, and then someone spoke to me in like Quebecois French with a heavy accent. I was like, it's weird that we met a Belgian person here. Like I have no idea what they were saying. Oh, failure. Oh, thank you. You're not a failure is what he said. I had an epic deal with a guy on Monday. We were trading the top spot back and forth all day. Oh man, Jazz, have you ever sniped it? Because I've sniped it before, where it's like 30 seconds to midnight and you just like get over them. It feels so good for you. All right, card and server 2. That's fine. If it's anoetic, it can't hurt us. Like click 4. They have 12 cards left in R&D. Like at some point we just have to try and get lucky. Like we have to still steal 2 agendas or hopefully they push a food. But now we know they're on NGO fronts, which like nightmare zone. I think we're going to run archives. If we hit a CVS, it's so bad. If we hit at least a news team, it doesn't do anything. This is not the right time to do this. I feel like we're tilting. Oh, never mind. Spin Doctor. France, they call it the Shaper bullshit. I feel like we need to find a better term for that. Let's just call it Shaper Magic, and then we can like rebrand it. I got some bad carpal tunnel using Duolingo on my phone to learn Italian. Had to go to physio for a couple months. No way. Hopefully you're feeling better. That's awful. Did not learn Italian, but learned about shock therapy. So cool. Yeah. What was shock therapy? Like they give the diodes on you? Or someone like zaps you from a distance? I don't think we have to do anything here. We got dealt with the remote. Lat draw card. Yes. All right, run R&D for the bounce. Oh, I think you're right. We could have considered running R&D for the bounce there. 2 turning wheel tokens on the turn that we need to win seems much more important. Never seen green before. What is this, a new runner faction? Yeah, this is it's like one of the mini factions. You might have saw it a bit at Worlds. Bounce HQ, click for 3. Yeah, I think you're right. We need to bounce returning wheel tokens. We need to end the game. And they probably shuffled in 2 agendas, right? So R&D seems like a place to go. Okay, solid XP in the end, I guess. Yeah. Yo, actually, this is an issue I'm running into today. And if anybody knows anything about electricity, Apex Smallest Faction, Cloud, how's it going? If anyone knows anything about electricity, let me know. But I got my electricity bill. It's worth knowing in a lot of places in Canada, we call electricity hydro because it comes from electricity. So if I call it hydro, I don't mean water, I mean electricity. So my hydro bill this month was 200 Canadian dollars, which seems absurd. That's a lot for hydro. So I called them up and I say, look, I looked up on their website. They'll tell you like what they expect you to use for where your address is. And they said I should be spending about $750 per year on hydro. I'm spending $200 in a month. That's $2,400 in electricity a year. I'm paying 4 times what they expect. More than. That's ridiculous. That's straight up ridiculous. So I called them up. I'm just going to click 4 here. No, we'll bounce R&D once, I think. So I called them up. And then she explained to me, the person on the phone, she's like, you can check online. You have your readings. Go check your readings. She's like, no, the readings are accurate. Oh my God, that's a bad res. Unless there's obacadas. Do you select to be on the average bill for the whole year? Yes, I have the EEP, Diogene. You're totally right. I have the average bill. Your bill should be 60 days. No, it's 30 days. But Benoit, how's it going, man? No, it's because I got a bill in what's it called? In September. Or October. This is my November bill. That ice destroys us. It destroys the obacada. So yeah, that ain't right. Sounds like they checked the meter. So what the lady told me, she's like, look at your stats. Your stats are accurate. And I looked at my stats. I'm like, ma'am, no, it's good. I was like, your stats are accurate. You're right. But the biggest issue here is I used 2,000 kilowatt hours in January. I'm predicted to use 8,000 in a year, and somehow I used 2,000 kilowatt hours in a month. Like I used a quarter of the average expenditure just in January. Which seems messed up. So I was like, what do I do? And we just did a experiment at 6 o'clock. We went to the breaker. I'm pretty convinced that I'm being billed for like multiple apartments within the building. So I went to the breaker at 6 o'clock. My neighbor wasn't home and I wish that they were home. And I just flicked all the breakers off and we wait for an hour. And now we're going to wait tomorrow to see if the reading says between 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock if we had any power consumption. Because obviously if we did have power consumption while our breaker was off, like we're getting billed for something else. So that is what's happening right now. I'm pretty excited. And my hydro is like 270 months every month. Tan, are you running like are you Bitcoin mining? How much weed are you growing? That can't be right either. It's a good experiment. I'm excited to see the results. In that case, we reevaluate the whole year once a year, which can change. Yeah, Diogene, they say like the base is this much, and then based off of the valuation plan, it adds another 40. But regardless, it should not be $200 a year. Like that's incredible. Okay, are we respecting a seamless launch here? Yeah, someone's mining Bitcoin. Someone's doing, I don't know. And like the worst thing is going to be if that's right. Like how are we using 2,000 kilowatt hours in a month? Like we have electric heating, but we're not like cooking the place. We have 2 computers in here, but one of them's barely, it doesn't make sense. I don't know. Why respect anything ever? Like we're thinking they might be on seamless. If they're on seamless, we're going to look really silly. But regardless if it's an agenda we want to run anyways, they did Rashida and we could consider running HQ and sweeping HQ. I feel like sweeping HQ is probably correct here because it's the cheaper one. I think you respect the seamless. Where's the influence at? Where's the influence at? We've seen 3 spin doctors. These are like 2 a pop. So 3 for 5, 6, 7. Stock buyback is like 3, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, I think if they're on 2 type buckets, they don't do it. I live in Manitoba and I'm in a house. I know people who have it worse. Maybe it's just my location. That's really weird. What, you used to spend between 200 and 300 a month? Verbose, are you serious? How? That seems like so much money for electricity. Am I wrong? They say it should be $750 per year. And somehow, like, we're doing 200 a month. Bounce R&D 4 times and sweep R&D. I feel like sweeping HQ might be reasonable, right? Like, we're looking at another food, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Like, I'd rather sweep. They iced up HQ, which maybe, like, is, you know, a bluff. I'm just worried about the obacadas. Quebec and Manitoba had the lowest electrical bill on the continent. Whoa. And die on snare on stream? I don't mind about that. That's US dollars too. No, I know. That's a lot of money. I don't think I care about dying about snare. Is your heating linked to hydro? It is. Yeah, we have electric heating. But like, we don't run it that often. Yeah, HQ tells you, yeah, if we sweep HQ, we can worry about seamless. So we can run HQC 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. I think that's probably fine. We have 5 clicks and 27 credits, right? Like, whatever. Have you been using a tumble dryer over the last month? I have. Yeah, Vimes, how's it going? I have. We have a tumble dryer. But like, not that bad. I'm really worried they're on Obokata now, y'all. So I solar panels not as popular here. Also, we have sun for like 6 hours a day now. It's winter. it's real bad. So we could bounce off this. If there's Obokata in hand, we're going to feel real foolish real fast. I think we're just going to go through this. Die to snare. Can we force a situation where there aren't enough cards in R&D for the corp to score in time? If this is not a seamless food, yes, maybe. It uses a lot of energy. There's no way it uses that much energy. I think running the dryer can't cost that much. I have not clicked on paperclip like that in a while, I don't think. Oh, I did it again. Hold on. What? Oh. So I paid, hold on. So I paid 4, 5, 6, 7 when I should have just paid 4. So I'm going to take back 3 credits. You can bring Brahmin back to start putting programs on top of your deck so you can draw them for Obo. Oh, that's a good point, actually. But then we have to worry about the Chiashi, which, yeah, actually isn't relevant. No, you're right. That is actually an interesting thing we could consider. Whoa, what happened here? Spread those bad boys out. What's going on? What? Whoa, Janet. That was wild. I'm around 100 a month, average in a house in the GTA. Something seems fishy. Yeah, Z-Bag, I think that's what I would expect. I'm pretty sure there's Obos. It's a CVS. Okay, well, they got their money's worth. It's not great. We will trash it. Okay, good. So what's in the remote if the food's in hand? Glad complaining about the hydro isn't just a Manitoban thing. I'm glad that everyone calls it hydro in Canada. I wonder how weird that is to Americans. Okay. Well, they probably need to score out 2 agendas, huh? No snare, we take those. That's true. What is the chance that this is a 4-3? 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16? Like, do we just bounce R&D 4 times here, right? Like, if it was a seamless, they just had, like, they had it at the 1 card we didn't access, which seems, you know. Yeah, I'm just going to do that. It's weird because almost all power in New Zealand is hydro as well, and I've never heard that term. Huh. That's weird. For us to use, friends, those are CAD, not USD, but gas for cars costs way more here. That's probably true, yeah. What's gas right now? Like 170 Canadian? 160? We call it hydro in Tasmania too? Oh, hell yeah. I think it's a really nice term. All right, we're going to be still on 3 credits. We're probably going to have 5 clicks. And we can not lose. Off-rolled office. Choose a card to install. We could. But we have exactly 1 snare's worth. We're not going to have a snare once we go through Kakugo. So unless they top deck the agenda, we can access every single card, right? Right? Because we can run 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll have 8 counters. So we can see 5 cards off of R&D. I feel like we're just going to do that. The other common use for indoor ground weed. How much you paying for hydro per month? Yeah, man. Which hydro? Let's go. 162 here in Vancouver for gas at the moment, or 162, excuse me. But we're also supposed to not fill more than 30 liters at the moment because of recent flooding. Yeah, how's that going, Solomir? I've seen really bad photos. I know that they limited gas consumption, which seems like a very reasonable thing to do. Spend 100-ish on gas in winter, 30-ish in other seasons. Whoa. I'm not sure that the gas prices fluctuate that heavily based off seasons here. But we're not going to do any tricks. We're just going to break. We have money. Must be cheaper. Puff shaper bra. Smoke bra. All the reasonable until people went buy all the toilet paper. Yeah. What is happening? Janet's like, what do you mean this is turn 20? No whammy, no whammy. All right, let's remember to hit this button. Ah, we did it. Hey, good game. Stock buyback. Analytics are all in there. Man, what a game. What an adventure. I was really worried there were actual obacadas in there. Big Rick Shaper, yo, yeah. Oh my god. And like, do you know what our best card was? Rizeki. Yeah. Rizeki. Yeah, we 100% should not have done Los. It was not worth it. We did end up running HQ more than I thought, and I forgot how fine Anansi is for 4 credits and how Macrophage is actually pretty reasonable, especially once you have 2 link, let alone 1. I'm taking natural gas, not gasoline. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, never mind. Totally makes sense now. See fit for what's going. Yeah, no. Yeah, that tracks. You also see this, like, one of them does not change anything. 2 of them does change a lot. And I think that's what they have to Poison Archives on top of the Cyberdex Fire Suite, which is real, I guess. We did flush out the Anoetics, which I think were a big point. We never left them. And that's such a big thing about Anoetic. Anoetic is a problem, but if you pressure it, so be it. Thanks for the game. Oh my god, it's 11 o'clock. We still got playing Atom deck. Yeah, we hit the hour mark. We really did. I forgot to see how much money we made off of that. Catch your end. All right, we're gonna import the Atom deck, and we're just gonna play like 1 or 2 fast games. Yo, Dane, I think you said something earlier in chat and I missed it because I saw your face. Popped in the right time, half the deck on the table, green cards, 5 cards, and score. Yo, Dane, welcome. Speaking of weird glitches, you planning on playing Inscription, Andre? High recommend. Oh, actually, very interesting. Let's talk about that. Okay, 19 cards installed. Inscription is on Steam. It's on sale right now. There is an autumn sale going on. That's probably what they call their like, please don't autoplay. That's probably what they end up calling their like Black Friday stream. What can I say about Inscription? Inscription had a demo, and I don't know if it still has. It does have a demo, so like it costs you nothing to check this out, and I recommend you checking this out. Inscription is a card game. It's a pretty simple card game, and it also has like that sort of card game roguelike, and that's where the game starts. But the idea is that like there's a board, you choose which path to go, and it's really, especially if you play the demo, you immediately see what it's about because it's a mix of a card game roguelike thing, but also has a mix of this kind of like choose your own adventure-esque, point and click-esque 90s horror game, and has a really good aesthetic, a really, really nice aesthetic, especially when the first boss battle starts. And I'm not going to spoil anything, but like you're only seeing the tip of the iceberg of the game, and it keeps going and it keeps going. To talk to people who've played it, I'm a bit further. Like I've seen some of the big twists. The issue is, and this is not a glowing recommendation, I feel like the card game's a bit dog shit. That was way harsher than it needs to be. I feel like the card game is very frustrating and is the worst part of the game, which is a shame because it's in it a fair bit. You constantly are playing this card game throughout the game, but I feel like I don't. Does anybody like the card game in this game? Because everything around this thing is so good. Like twist after twist, and oozes with styles. There's like these really cool meta puzzles, and like there's communities of people still like trying to unwind everything. There's like FMV videos in the middle of it, which is always a treat. But like I feel like the actual card game itself isn't very good. Oh, Chan says the game's all right. It's okay. But like you end up in so many situations. Basically how the game works is that you have 4 lanes, right? It looks like this. You have 4 lanes, and you basically put cards on your back line. And then after you end your turn, they all attack forward. Any damage goes through to your opponent, and otherwise does damage to whatever's in front of them in their lane. If somebody takes 5 damage, like there's this scale, and every time you do damage, it tips over to their side. So if they do damage back to you, it tips back. But if you ever do 5 in one direction over the halfway line, you just win, right? But the thing is, there's currencies you use to play cards, and one of them is is sacrificing cards. So if you have a card on the table, you can sacrifice it to generate 1 blood. Mind you, this is a horror game, to summon another creature. The issue is when you start your turn, generally you choose to draw either from the top of your deck or from the top of the squirrel deck. And squirrels don't have any attack. They just are basically 0-cost cards that you can sacrifice. I feel like there's so many situations where I just had a bad hand. And so my option was, well, I have to draw a squirrel and then I play the squirrel and sacrifice it for a creature, and that's just not enough to win the board state. I like the card game. It's not amazing. It's not a great card game, and that's a real bummer. I wish the card game was so solid. It's kind of a vehicle to make the game happen. Can't really say much about the game's evolution without spoilers. Yeah, there's a lot of spoilers, and there's so much cool stuff that happens inside this thing. It's just a bummer because the card game is quite rough. The cool thing about the card game is that once you unlock powers to actually break the card game, it can do really cool things. Like it's really easy to make broken combos, and that feels okay. But like the card game itself is just inherently like I'm on the second big reveal, and like the card game is getting really frustrating. It could be much more involved, but that would probably take away from the rest of the game. Yeah, and like that's a big thing. It's like there's so much going on in this game that the card game doesn't need to slap to be cool. And I think it's also a very simple enough card game that a lot of people are going to get into it who like maybe wouldn't pick up Slay the Spire because there's so many cool horror narrative elements to this game. But I am struggling to finish this thing just because I'm at a part of the game where I have to, you know, at certain points you have to win the card game to advance, and I'm not enjoying that. The card game is like the MTG attack defense mechanics. Doctor checks out. No, it's actually not exactly like that. It's more like a lane battler. But then all the cards like have abilities and text, and then you sacrifice them to summon other cards, which is actually more like Yu-Gi-Oh in some ways. It's really there to break. Like it's fun to break it and how easy it is. Yeah, it's really quite easy to break it. I don't know. The point that I'm in, I think, focuses more on the card game itself. It's a really, really cool twist, but oh boy, yeah, I'm struggling with it. I don't know if I'm gonna finish it, but I know it even gets weirder. I just didn't spoil. I haven't spoiled how it gets weirder. I think the game was designed more to be accessible than to be fleshed out roguelike deck building. Yeah, exactly. I think that tracks. But like, it has the same sort of like very basic card game mechanics as something like Magic, or like Yu-Gi-Oh or Hearthstone, where it's like on your turn you draw one. Is that going to solve your state? I guess you sit there and lose, which is frustrating, as opposed to something like, you know, Slay the Spire, which is a new hand, is a new problem, Flesh and Blood, Netrunner, draw a new hand, all that good stuff. So be that as what you may. Obviously on Steam it has overwhelming positive reviews, 99% like, so I think I'm the one who's probably the harshest against it, and I really don't want you to not try this game, especially because there's a free demo. So you decide on your own. I'm just not impressed by the card game. Still, I'm looking forward to try it, but it'll probably sit in my Steam library for a couple of weeks because other games are high priority at the moment. I'm playing Dreamscaper right now, which is like a roguelike kind of like room-based action game. It reminds me a lot of like, what's it called? If you ever play like Enter the Gungeon, that sort of thing. But it's about a character, a lady who basically the roguelike is within her dreams, and she's clearly like dealing with some, you know, stuff. And then between it, you're going across the city and talking with people and giving them the gifts, and you have that sort of like, you know, relationship manager sort of thing. The combat is like pretty good. It's interesting. I feel like sometimes it's very difficult to see what's going on because there's a lot of particle effects. Like here, it was kind of hard to tell what's going on anyways, but I'm really enjoying it. I want to see it through because it is evolving quite nicely, and there's actually a story to be told, as much as it's not like a heavily narrative driven game. And the loops of like you reinforcing yourself, going to the city, spending points and stuff, like it is pretty compelling. That's what I've been doing recently. I'm interested to see this one out. Hardspace Shipbreaker is my jam lately. Highly suggested. Andrew, how's it going? Is that the one where you're in space, right? And you're taking apart ships? Like you're, I think that one made me really nauseous. I think I returned it. Do you want to try that trace-based game that Netrunner player developed? I played the demo and I liked it, and I bought the full game, and I haven't dived into it. This made me nauseous. I had to return it. I don't think I like being free floating in space, but this is a really cool game about you. It has a lot of like, I wouldn't say fun, but it has a really good anti-work kind of tone. But it's all about like dismantling things in space using tools while also not dying in very dangerous situations. It's a mixture of a puzzle game. It's really cool. It's weirdly zen. Yeah, it totally is weirdly zen. I just feel like the space thing was kind of rubbing me the wrong way. The game has a neat history. The concept originated at some one-day game challenges type thing, originally titled Sacrifices Must Be Made. Oh, that's really cool. And Dane, from my understanding too, the person who made that game, Inscription, there's a lot of references and tie-ins with, I think his name is Mullins or something. There's a lot of tie-ins with his previous titles as well. Yeah, definitely check it out. It is a free demo. Don't let me be the one, because I think I'm the one who's like has a really a different opinion. A lot of people are loving this game. Heartspace is the other game I would stream probably. Oh, that's super cool. That's really cool. Shipbreakers also started off as a game jam game. Oh, that's really cool to know. Yeah, the one that was made by somebody who was inspired by Netrunner. I played the demo and I thought it was pretty compelling, but I haven't gotten into it. Got a really cool prototype together in a weekend. That's awesome. Okay. I don't know what else have I been playing. I've been playing a bit of Halo Infinite, and like it's free to play, so you might as well. I feel like you need to play with friends. Midnight Protocol, I think that's the name, yeah. Macaroni, I think that's it. I've been playing a bit of that, and it's good. I feel like Halo Infinite, with the time to kill and its like reliance on team play, playing it alone is not satisfying, which is generally how I played like shooters that weren't that important. It's just like put it on, get on, exercise bike, go. But I don't know, solo queuing that is not that fun. Maybe I'm different. I had a lot of fun with Halo when I was a teenager. Just to be young again. Maybe that's what we learned. This is a damn good deck. Heyo. This was played at the top tables. And Percomus came on stream and explained how we got here. And it's a lot of really, really, really good cards, really good value cards over time. Just throw a bunch of value at the corp seemed to be a thing. But the big thing also with Adam is that we have a lot of like flexible ways to interact with certain win conditions that are hard to interact with. Do you have to deal with Neurospike? If they have Sports Hopper, it's just not going to work. And that's like the kind of idea why cards like this end up in the list. We have Citadel Sanctuary, we have Political Operative, we just have a lot of interesting ways to work. Misdirection, like this is just, you know, a lot of cool tech cards that Adam can play. And specifically Adam can also find these, right? You can find your search your stack for programmer hardware, install it. Or specifically, if this is not a necessary card in the matchup, discard it so that you can install something else cheaper. So it's just quite good. Apparently this is one of the best decks in the format, and I kind of believe it. Sunny, honestly, apparently wasn't that far behind either. So that is really cool. Unpopular opinion, Halo should be played with 4 people huddled around a tiny TV. Macaroni, that is the most popular opinion. Because that is my opinion too as well. So at least there's 2 of us. But I don't think we're in a minority. I'm just going to go ahead and pull this in. I do think that if you're playing this in casual lobbies, you probably could remove some of the tech cards. Like you probably don't need Sports Hoppers unless you're playing at Worlds where you expect to see a lot of Neurospike decks, or unless you expect to see a lot of controlling the message where maybe you need this to dodge boom for a turn, or maybe you need this to get extra link, right? Like I think there's a lot of reasons. There are a lot of cards you can have some flexibility with. We're in like 2 Atoms in the top 10 of Worlds or something. I was so happy to see it. I think it was at least 2. It was Percomus and Tug. Maybe there was another one. But the NWE were all playing this Atom deck, and they all placed relatively well on day 1A. Halo LAN parties were the shit back in the day. They really were. I have such fond memories of like in high school, a bunch of people getting together in different rooms, running the big Ethernet cable. Man, it was just so fun. It was really good. So I'm going to import this 68152, and then we'll get this up on Keyhole. It's 11:13. We'll get a game or 2 in. We got to 4 TVs in a Tokyo apartment at one point. Which Halo is the best Halo to do that? Because I believe at that point we were doing Halo 3 on Xbox 360, which is a good Halo. I played a bit of Halo 2, but I did not have an Xbox as a child. We didn't have any consoles. Oh, wait, no, I bought a PlayStation 2 when I started working in high school. This is one of those lists that seems very tuned to beat NWZ's Corpse. I'm not sold that it's a great PD matchup. I think they said specifically it doesn't have a great PD matchup, but that's like one of the things. It's like some opponents build their runner deck to always beat their Corp deck, and then other people build their runner deck to just have no chance against their Corp deck. And this one I think is very, very tuned, right? Like they talked about certain cards that were included just to deal. Like the Sports Hoppers are there to deal with Urban Renewal, which nobody at Worlds brought Urban Renewal besides specifically the NWE testing team. So again, it's another thing that you could deal with. But I do think, yeah, it probably doesn't have a great matchup against PD, which ultimately ended up winning. And I think they said ultimately that was the problem with Adam in the top cut, which I think eventually was going to happen. But during Swiss, I think they dealt with very little PD. Also sports matchup, but I don't think anyone else believes in that. No, I don't think anyone still does. But I think they should. I think we did see some good PD sports. You're saying, were you on sports or were you on PD? How do I not remember this? CTF Touch Return on Blood Gulch Halo 1's the best line experience ever. Mushin, how's it going? Yeah. Man, I had this like moment when I was a kid, and we played all our video games on PC. And I remember like getting the Halo demo, right? That was just like the silent cartographer map, and playing it. And it looked, good. And then finally we got a graphics card that supported like DirectX 7 or whatever it was. It had Direct 3D or something at the time. And then booting the game up again and seeing like that it tracked the heat on the side of the plasma rifle, right? Like the blue plasma thing, the purple one, whatever, that it had a heat gauge, like all these things that were in the game but weren't rendering because we had like the hardware jump underneath it. And it was just like one of those moments that video games are so cool that kind of sticks with you forever. But yeah, Blood Gulch Halo 1 was awesome. You were on sports, yeah, okay, cool. Amusingly, my Neurospike list is slightly obtuse ways to maybe deal with Hammer. Whoa, Solomir, what do you got? What tech do you have? I also very clearly remember, Nato, when Halo 2, they had the first gameplay trailer, which was on Earth in like New Mombasa or something. And they had this like, you know, very cinematically put together trailer that involved like hijacking those new big wheel motorcycles, and it just like another gameplay trailer that kind of stuck with you as a kid, being like, this is amazing. It went 5-2, 4 turn 8 wins. Public trail into Retribution. Damn, Solomir, that's hateful. Did you ever have to do that? It's Ingrid, did your corp do better than your runner or the other way around? 5-2 is pretty good sports. Halo went south when they stopped letting grenades flip vehicles. I didn't honestly realize they did. I think you can flip vehicles in Halo Infinite. Not on a hopper now. Ah, what is your Retribution? Ouchie, ice. Nice. Where's that did the Adam I played against was trail to trash a logic bomb? Yeah, that's okay. Is that better than directive? Uh-oh, CTM, dang. Not a fun matchup. Going to play the directives that we have to play. This is actually a tricky matchup, and I'm not 100% sure how to play it. And the big thing is that we're playing neutralize all threats, which forces us to trash the first card we access a turn with a trash cost. So, remember when Warthogs were invulnerable? Wait, actually, Dane? I don't remember that. Even in Halo 1? Like, all I remember from Halo 1 was there was a flamethrower on PC, and then the pistol kicked ass. Having the final boss be a QT in Halo 4 is a very questionable decision. I never played that one. I don't even think I played Halo 2. Opening hand, Misdirection, Citadel, Sure Gamble, Liberated? Yeah. Hard Keep? Yeah. Singleton, Citadel? Okay. I don't think I'd see any Hivemind Max on day 1B. Of course, I paired against Pincel. Yeah, Sanguine, you also get a bit of a streamer's curse, don't you? And I honestly feel really bad. Like, I felt bad streaming you, and I felt bad streaming Man of the Moon. Because every time we streamed them, like, I was like, I know they're performing really well. And then, like, we caught, I think, probably the worst parts of their day, which is unfortunate. Okay. How to not goof this up. Just get money. Yeah, that's a really good start. I don't think we're going to deal with anything. I think we're just going to get the money so that we can... Do we install a card so that we get a free card draw? I feel like no. Actually, yeah, maybe we do. Like, why not? Why not? I remember assaulting the huge walker by leaping onto it just so it was really cool, yes. Always yes? Yeah, you think so? I don't like showing this, but it doesn't really change their game plan. If they score out an Ares here, it's pretty bad. Yeah, we get a free... Okay, banker, double bet. That's good, actually, because that's 2 things we want to trash, and then we only deal with 1 tag. Unfortunate thing is they have a lot of credits, so we do trash, liberated. Ooh, boy. That's actually fine, right? Because we trash this first. Unless if it's a Prysec, it's bad. If this is specifically a Prysec, it's bad for us. But if it's a Mumbed Virtual Tour, we don't care. So hope for the best. Oh, they rezzed it. That's actually doesn't do anything, but this is specific. A Rashid on top. This is not what you want to do because we trashed this for 2. And then we have less than 5 credits, so we're not forced to trash them on bed. Them rezzing it had no difference. Like we're not going to access it first, but now we know not to access it. Or we're sorry, we have to access it, but you know what I mean. I think I'm like 1-5 on streams left up. I know, yeah, I really do know. That's rough. Citadel ain't bad here. Hopper ain't bad either. Citadel is way better than Hopper, I think. Because I'd rather... The Hopper obviously makes this free, which is nice. At least this time I don't think I was nervous as much as it was bad draws. Interesting enough, like they might actually stick us with 1 tag here. Like if we hit this twice... Oh no, we'll be good. We could actually consider trashing the Rashid off the top, but then we're on only 5 less credits, which seems bad. So the Citadel triggers. It's going to be trace 1. We don't have any links, so we have to pay 1. They could pay all their money, which would be bad for them. And then we could pay all our money and still have liberated. And then it's really bad if they have like, I don't know, planogram into hard hitting or something. But even then we have misdirection in hand, so whatever. Julian, what'd you end up playing? You're on PD Max, right? I think you posted your lists. I didn't have enough time to be in Slack during the day, unfortunately. She's probably going to end up on the MVT though. Yeah, I know, that's the issue. Now we could always like, it's not great, but you can always trash Rashida and then boost the CTM trace and then have less than 5 credits for Mumbad, which is, you know, a thing. Oh, you're on Steve, excuse me. Max is the right call, right? All right, and we probably still check these. There's probably 2 MVTs done here, so I'm not that worried. Like, I don't know what else we do here. Install Ngolo first. I don't want to pay 5. Oh, I see what you mean, to duck MVT. Man, maybe. I'd rather install like, I don't know, we can just trace something, I guess. Find the truth. Yeah, Spin Doctor. Okay, it's Rashida. She goes. I heard the Anarchs were still in fact good after all. Yeah, they usually do that. It's weird how that is. They didn't install the Rashida on top of the Mumbad, which is strange. I was thinking about asking not to be streamed, but at the end of the day, you make your own luck. And if I'll make content, I should be willing to be observed. Well, yes and no. I hear you, but like I totally respect the people that don't want to be streamed. Like if you feel more comfortable not being streamed, it is in your best advantage not to be streamed. Like don't get streamed. I admittedly like sometimes that is a bummer to the people who are watching. Undo click doesn't work like that on their turn. I guess I can do it on mine. So I spin a click to run it. Oh. Let's pretend I ran it. I didn't say GGW. Well played. Oh no. Okay. Do you want to fire it? I didn't say good game, well played. Good game. Uh-oh. I didn't say GLHF. What's happening? Nah. Perfect. Cool. Thanks. All right, from here, we're going to hopefully clear the tag clicklessly. I will liberate it. We need to get something rolling. I think we will just put down a misdirection because it is like a card draw and we might as well just have it on the table. It's sometimes nice to keep this in hand so they actually spend the hard-hitting news on us, which would be okay. I feel like here we could just run R&D and then just hit this button. Like, it's fine. We need to get an agenda stolen. Just, excuse me, so we have the brain chip. Sorry, I'm disgusting. It's a San. Yeah, I feel like we're just not drawing cards enough, which is the problem. They drew into a Spin Doctor, and that's all we know. And now they have an expensive San City Grid. Like, if it's not obvious how strong this card is, instead of spending a click and 2 credits, we spend no click and 1 credit. That's a lot. All right. So install it. It's probably a second Spin Doctor. Yeah, there you go. They're resing it. Still on 8 cards. Wait, no, undo click. This might be a long game. We just need to keep setting up. We want to draw our Rozekis. We definitely want our Rozekis. RNG key would be sick too, because we can run R&D, gain 3 credits. Pat taps would be amazing. So we're just gonna start drawing. We'll just start playing whatever we have to play. The ISW HQ, and got something on server 5. We've been pretty consistently checking these. I don't know if we have to check this one. I'd be really surprised. And their last click drawing, which you never want to do. I was bummed to miss day 2, but in retrospect, I did really well. And my non-pencil losses had some really nice errors that clearly would have made the difference. So I can at least identify things for improvement. That's obviously super important. And I think that's one of the biggest things is like how to react to like, you know, maybe falling short of expectations or to losing at the top tables. Like this stuff is super important that you can look back and be like, I know how to get better. Like that's the thing that's to learn. All right, on 2 unseen cards. That's sick. Keep drawing. That's good-ish. We can't really dump too many cards out of our hand that elegantly. We could hope to draw into something good, like a daily cast or something, but it seems a bit unlikely. So we'll definitely play the pad tab, and I think we will just play the misdirection, I guess. There's an argument to play the brain chip here, so we keep the misdirection so that they consider hard-hitting using us, which would probably be worse for them than us. Card in server 1. Probably maybe the Sensen server 5. But we've removed 2 commercials, and they probably shuffled back 2 agendas here. So we really want an RNG key. That would be really, really good. And they're icing up server 1, which again could be the Sensen City grid. But we're just going to continue setting up. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, that's good. All right, let's go. Sports also felt like the first time I've called the meta correctly. I've cleaned up without me having to think. That's really cool. Why do you think sports was a good meta read? Because Max struggles to deal with it? You planning on doing any replay analysis, Sengrin? I know Sengrin's already uploaded a video today, and I know he's recorded his videos or his replays, but he can answer that for sure. All right, it's a regolith. That's actually hard for us to deal with, but I think we're okay. Dirty Laundry R&D seems fine. We can also check server 6 pretty easily. I think we'll do Gamble first. I think I'll check server 6. If it's a spin doctor, we can get blown out. I just don't want an ARE to go away. And they're spending their scoring remote on big money. Top of the deck is a predictive planogram. Okay. That's Rashida. We'll deal with that for sure. There are no clots around. There were no clots. Even Virus Max took out the clot. So if you're going to see a clot that day, it was probably only Shaper. Which honestly wasn't a surprise if you asked, like a while ago. But yeah, specifically only Shaper. Oh, that's great. I uploaded a review of my replays a few hours ago. Was it all of them? Because I saw you put one video up. I didn't realize you went through everything. Also, if you want to see stuff, Shorty, I think you can find on YouTube. Or sorry, it's under Rosenheim City Grid, right? Has been uploading his stuff slowly. Yeah, if it's here. So if you want to watch more stuff, so the first round is up and they've been uploading their stuff. They're playing Restoring Humanity and I forget the runner. Catch you. Thanks for streaming. Yo, Nano, enjoy your week. All right, they're at 23 credits. But again, if we have this, we'd probably be okay. We just need to find our... Oh, double Logic Bomb's a thing. We could consider running the Spin Doctor, see if they pop it. Regardless, we'll kind of see the top of R&D, but if they pop it, we won't, which is fine. Let's see what they shuffle back in. We have no interest. Oh, we have to trash this if we can. Oh, excuse me. Thank God. Okay. All right. But now that it's shuffled, we actually can run archives to see the top. At that point, yeah, we'd rather not run R&D because if we see something we have to trash, we don't want it. It's a toll booth. Okay, that's not good. So we can get down 2 Logic Bombs. I think that's fine. We're not getting a card draw this turn. We just need an agenda. And they've drawn a fair bit. Rashida hasn't fired yet, actually. But running HQ at some point seems good. Sports felt good because it wasn't a value corp and was much less vulnerable to Rezeki or pad taps than expected. Off-topic question. Anyone know of a podcast or stream which cover Android lore? Been needing to find someone to run a Shadow of the Beanstalk campaign. I don't actually know, Dane. I'm not I don't even know anyone who bought into the Android RPG stuff. But I've no doubt there are. You might want to ask on r/Netrunner. Hard hitting news? That's fine. Here they have to boost a lot. I did an 80-minute blitz of all my games, less in depth than usual, but there was almost nothing to say about the sports games. My opponents almost never had a chance to win. Got him. All right, they're going to chase out here. Yeah, I don't know, Dane. Lore, yeah, I couldn't tell you. Now, if they overboost into this, it's a waste of time, because at the end of the day, this is only worth us either spending 8 credits now or 2 clicks and 4 credits. And honestly, 2 clicks and 4 credits is fine. And they didn't put anything on the table, which is the thing you want to do a lot of times when you're hard hitting news, is put something on the table and hard hitting news. So you basically say it's going to be difficult for you to do both. Now we have Emergent Creativity. Honestly, I think we could consider Emergent Creativity out in MK Ultra to get a Rezeki on the table. The other option is a Sports Hopper. I think it's right to get the Rezeki, right? Do we throw out the other brain chip? I'm a bit of a coward. It would represent more card draw. I just want a podcast like the L5R lore podcast, which they read the lore inserts. Ah, I didn't know that was a thing. But against two woos, neither of them had Clot, and Pincel cut it too, so I don't know if anyone's on it. Yeah, Clot seemed pretty unlikely. And you saw like one of the Gagarin lists was also a fast advance in the same way. And the question is, yeah, server 1, when do we run it? But I just want to see the top of R&D. Like, I just want to run R&D, archive, see the top of R&D, RNG key. Like, I honestly, maybe actually RNG key probably was right. I don't think the Rozeki was right. Because the RNG key represents like 3 credits a turn. That's better than Rozeki. I think we got bamboozled. This is just to see the top of the deck. That's always planogram. And there's a boom is gone. Oof. Little pat tap that could. I know. I'm okay with what they're doing. That's good. We could put that down to run R&D. Like, this is the problem with Adam. If you don't get an early agenda, like, what are you doing? Like, I'm just clicking. This is so bad. We probably should just put down the brain chip, actually. Yeah, just to get the free card draw. Like, whatever. It'll be good eventually. Yeah, okay. We've been looking at the alternative of this, I think, most of the weekend. I'm thinking this is career fair sometimes. Bounce R&D? I don't know. I don't think it's worth that. I'd rather actually just get the card draw. They might hard-hitting news us here, which is fine. Like, we pay 4. It's fine. They're not doing anything. They're just getting their money up. And they've thrown out 1 boom already. All right, over installing. Whoa, okay, that's a Sanson City Grid, actually. That's can be impactful. Let's go archives. I just don't want R&D because if we see something we have to trash, we have to trash. Like Amani Sanai, we'd have to trash. She actually could potentially be an issue. I think we probably just want to deal with her while we can. We don't have that many actually like bad trashables here. But like, yeah, I guess we just do this. We get the turning wheel. There's the RNG key. That's huge. Now we put that down. We can actually consider running R&D either for 3 credits or 2 cards because we'll see the cost of it. Bounce R&D sounds good when all we need is agenda. I know, but we saw it was a predictive planogram. I just don't know whether we should just be like turning wheel into this. Whoa, what do they do? They finished the Regolith. Our pad tap has been really good. They definitely could afford to trash this. They're in 31 credits. Like, this is much more important to us than them. And I think one of these 3 ice has to be the toll booth, right? Which is fine if you Logic Bomb. The problem with Logic Bomb is like you take tags. So unless they score an AR enhanced security, the credit differential actually is relevant because of Citadel Sanctuary. And if we get traced, yeah, we can't rely on this thing anymore. That's the only problem with them having 1 billion credits. They actually can Glacier up. The question is whether they have enough ice to do it. And no agenda scored. It's turn 11. Yikes. We just need agenda. I'll take a Bologna. It's fine. It's not. They're Amani Sanai. Oh my lord. Okay. What? Wait. What? What are the numbers on Amani Sanai? It's res for 1, right? For 2. Okay. Thank God we looked it up. Thanos says 2 hours. It says 1. Thanos fixes it quickly. Fire RNG key. Guess number 2. Guess. I will gain the money. So now we're on 2. We'll just click for credit. All right. Earthrise is good. Is this some weird punitive list? No, I think they just net decked World's winning deck list. It looks like a player who hasn't played CTM is like figuring out CTM. Oh, nice. AR on tempo. They still have a click if they want to install. Because they're doing a lot of like very interesting plays. Like I've never seen anyone do that. I don't think it's a wrong play. But like not trashing pad tap. I feel like they're just figuring it out. Why not run our D again there? Because if we access... Oh, you're right. Actually, we could have. Yeah, because if we trash a card, it's fine. Yeah, I think you're right. I think we need to deal with this now. I just don't know how we do that. Regolith. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, we could have ran it back. How much is this going to be a problem for us? We have to trash this for 5, so we have to trash this for 10. 10 is a lot, it turns out. You can charge with Polyp if you can get it to HQ. Yeah, but then we still take the AR enhanced security tag. And HQ has a mumbet as well, but and N2 ice. But you're right. It avoids the MVT tax. I just think we're gonna MVT on HQ. There's an MVT on HQ. It doesn't change anything, right? I think we go for it. Like, I just want to get this Earthrise down. Yeah, that's fine. If they spend a lot of money on there, it's fine. We have no link. They could overspend on this very easily. Which is fine. They're drawing a Regolith, which is fine. Yeah, they increased it to a lot. So they paid 6, and we can walk away paying nothing, and we can just click for 2 credits. We always put them to Earthrise. We could like clear the tag, put them to Earthrise, which is actually probably fine too. They're just, the problem is that they're gonna score out the Sansan. I think we have to do this. This draws us 3 cards. Yeah, I'm not feeling great about this. Yeah, they're just gonna score out now, Abiel. Yeah, okay. Order doesn't matter. That helps. That actually is quite good. That means we can consider tracing through. I think we're just gonna do Sure Gamble and then overclock server 1. And then we can see the top of our ND as well. And once we clear this, like they don't have a remote server, we definitely need to prioritize clearing this. We have Angola as well, but like Angola breaks IP block terribly, right? It's like 6 credits or 5 credits. It's awful after installing you for 5. That's not good. So if they spend a lot on this, like it's a bit awkward. Now, admittedly, we have, you know, more money than them. And if we take 2 tags, we just could consider hitting the misdirection if we don't believe in the end of turn, which I don't think we do believe in the end of turn. Maybe we'll see something cool off top of our ND. Bankers, no. Sand. 1, 2. Triggers. Aries. Then CTM. And it will just pay 2 clicks, 2 credits. Oh, not a fast CTM game here. They actually boosted the trace. I did not think they'd do that. All right, let's go. So we can't rely on the Citadel there. It doesn't really make sense anyways. We spend a click to get a clear attack for free by using misdirection, right? Well, sort of. Because it's either two clicks and 4 credits or 2 clicks and 2 credits, so whatever. Citadel is going to cost us 1 credit. I think they might have accidentally installed in the commercial bankers group there, which doesn't do anything. Ah, that's probably the bankers. I think we actually run this. I do think we run this. Let's get something nice here. Dirty Laundry to run is okay. I think we might just want Dirty Laundry Archives though. Just because if they boost into IP block, it's doubly bad for us. So we'll start here in Archives. Archives. This also turns off our ability because we access a card. It's an AR enhanced security. Okay, so we want to start by going R&D, I think. Attack clear made me remember that network and clear during Worlds. Oh, that was awesome. That was really cool. I think that was the last round where like a lot of the top players tables don't play. So like you're just watching bottom tables, which is really fun to watch. Because you get to see like, you know, off meta stuff, which is always really fun. All right, so we need to name 3 once we get through this. And then, whoa, we're going to have 4 hand size. Watch out. Trace 5. Okay. Still worth it. If there's a spin doctor, they consider shuffling here. I think I have to name 3 here, right? Agenda requirement, yeah. All right. So now we can consider running server 1. It looks like it's probably the Regolith, honestly, which I don't think we want to trash. So unless they're like scoring out a naked Beal. I still can't believe how wild that kit deck that got carried into top 16. I didn't see it. I need to check it up on NetRunnerDB. Happy Thanksgiving, my Canadian brethren. Yeah, Tom Pollock. I forgot to mention that to all the Americans. Happy Thanksgiving. I totally forgot it's American Thanksgiving right now. Hope you're doing well. Okay, at this point we could run this. I'm pretty sure that's an AR enhanced security. I would be really surprised if they jam out a 3-2 on the table. This looks like it's the what's it called? The commercial bankers, which is fine. Like if we deal it, it's 2 tags, which we don't really want to deal with. I think we could just play the logic bomb for card draw and click for a credit. Yeah, another pad tap's cool. And we actually could, if we get a second pad tap down, consider leaving up this the thing, which they didn't res. Maybe it's not a commercial bankers group. Maybe they just forgot. But we know they drew a regolith. We knew they drew a commercial bankers group. The World's Tourney lit a fire for me to get better Netrunner. Caden, how? From watching or from playing in Worlds? Also welcome. Either way, that's really exciting. How are you going to do that? No, you're good. I think they forgot to res their stuff, which means it won't happen. But in theory, you need to do that before mandatory draw. So it's going to be a bit tricky. Undo turn? Wait, I have to do my whole turn? I don't want to undo my whole turn. You could just res them and do them manually. Otherwise, do I have to redo my whole turn? I don't want to redo my whole turn. I will if we have to. Or is undo turn only undo their turn? Oh, okay, cool. Cool. From watching, because I'm still kind of newish to Netrunner. My only problem is when is the right call to mull as a corp? Oh, that's an interesting question. There's a lot of people, actually, Kanan, it's not going to be entirely perfect, but there was, yeah, okay, so we called it. There was an article that was put up on StimHack a long time ago called like mull or keep. And it was basically like, you know, exactly that. Someone would show you a hand and talk about it. It's a really easy thing to do drills. And if you get involved in like some of the Discord channels, things like Green Level Clearance or Itinerant Protesters, I have no doubt that you could just have screenshots of hands and say, this is my opponent, and people would gladly talk you through mull or keep. Because mull or keep is like a fun mini game that a lot of people just like doing. All right, Sports Opera is nice. I think we're just going to like bounce archives, see the top of R&D, steal a Bologna. Consider contesting HQ. Even just doing test draws in NetRDB is a good practice. I do a lot of test draws in NetRDB whenever I build a deck. That's a deal. Good. We'll just run R&D, I think. We can install the Sports Opera, which gives us Link, which is probably worth doing in this matchup. It does make it a bit easier for them to trace it out, but hopefully this will pay off. Is there like a test draw in Jinteki? Not so much, but in NetRDB, if you have the deck list, excuse me, I shouldn't do this in the middle of a game. But if you have the deck list in your My Decks, hold on one second. You can do it. People talk about Discord and Slack a lot without providing any links. I don't have the link on hand. Maybe someone in chat will, but we'll put them in the show notes if you're watching on YouTube after it. But if you open your deck and you go to view or edit, hold on one second. I'll pay $5 for this. Okay. You can go to this button, 5, and it'll draw 5. And then you say mull or keep, and then you can see like, oh, if I drew a couple, was the bit good, and reset, draw 5. I spend many hours fish bowling and doing that. Otherwise, also, yeah, Cloud Racer, if you go to nearearthhub.net, it has a lot of links to all the Discords, yeah. And Macaroni linked a link as well. Okay, this is going to help for our hand size. Steal, and now we can install Pad Tap and Rozeki, or just one of them, so I think we'll be Pad Tap, which is cheaper. And we'll go from there. Thank you very much. Of course, yeah. Nearearthhub.net is not plugged enough, but it's a website that has... It's a website that has a lot of links to a lot of stuff for Netrunner in general, for newer players in general. Hopefully it loads. Yeah, it's here. And you just go to like, I don't know, community resources, Green Level Clearance. You'll find stuff there. Oh, they're hiding news after they regolith. So it's for 8. So we'll still spend half our turn. It's fine. We're still going to get down our Earthrise, I hope. So we'll spend 4. They didn't do anything. So I think we're going to always do this. We can run archives. Did I overspend on this? I don't think I did. I'm in the Green Level Clearance. I just had my first Startup League match a few days ago. My corp hand was getting worse. Oh, no way. What were you playing? Some Unbid Virtual Tour. Good to know. They probably will poison archives with that. We'll put down another Pad Tap. We should consider running HQ, honestly. I think we've been a bit too scared of the Mumbed Virtual Tour on HQ, but like it's been many turns. They haven't really filtered their hand. There's been no daily business show. Trash Bankers and Misdirection. Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Now they're starting with the pad taps. Okay, it's okay. We have Rozekis. Yeah, we'll consider trashing it now. I think we'll actually trash it this turn and see the top of the deck as well. My favorite mull was the first finals at tourney. I mulled 3 agendas and drew 4 more in the mull. No ice, drew once and drew the 5th agenda. Yeah, we install advance, pretend it's what's it called? NGO. I was HB. Opponent was Hishiko. Okay. So in that matchup, a lot of times, like you want some amount of ice. You always want at least 1 ice, maybe 2 ice, because Hishiko wants to get those accesses early to turn on her ability. I feel like we can just pay 3 here and then just clear the other one for free. Otherwise, we're spending half our turn. Yeah, this seems better. So what can we do? We can Earthrise this down. And then we know there's a sheet on top of the deck, but with the tag, we can't go through this. So we can probably just play the Rozeki as well and click for credit. Yeah, that seems good. Then we do safety first and then Citadel, yeah. In theory, we should do that in the other order so they get less read on our hand. So yeah, a lot of times you want some economy. Obviously, you don't have a lot of agendas, but in that matchup, I don't think it's like it's not too intricate. It's generally like anytime you're playing against an opponent where they're just accessing, there's no like weird tricks. It's not like the deck revolves around certain cards in that matchup. You generally just want a modicum of economy. And at least like if you have something to jam into a remote server, that's good. Like a Nico and an ice, you could do that in a remote server, maybe ice up HQ, depending on whether HQ looks like it has things they want to trash or steal. Install a naked gen and then run a Queen's Gambit at it. Yeah, that's the dreams. All right, they can't beat us on the trace. They can make us spend all their money. It's a Citadel. It's Del Trace. Trace 1. And if successful, I'm successful. It clears the tag. Do you have the prompt? Opening hand, no ice. I'm molded into 4 agendas. That's just bad luck, Kane. Not much you can do about that. Hopefully he spins. Oh, weird. Okay. Would you boost? Oh, don't safety first. I'll do Citadel first. How about now? Sick. Yeah, at that point, Caden, you're hoping for a sprint or a spin doctor to fix it. Otherwise, shit happens, unfortunately. But that's the reason sometimes, like, if you have a mediocre hand, some people are just more averse. You always concede that's for a rematch. Some people are a bit, like, more averse of, like, I have a medium hand, like an okay hand. Okay. I'll just clear the tag. Oh, but it's always gonna fire. How do I end turn without this? How? Huh. I'm just gonna do this manually. Clear the tag. Give myself a click. Install. Citadel. Oh yeah. Maybe undo click. Yeah, Arizona. You're right. That's probably worth trying. Deciding whether or not to mull a medium hand is where a lot of decks experience pays off. Yes, that too. If you know your deck and know, like, I can do something with this. And that's also a really important thing that I think is worth doing in person if you can do it. Have to pay 1? No, we have 1 link because of the hopper. Yeah, we're good. Citadel. Oh, yeah, Marcus, we're good. Still waiting for a runner to resolve trigger. Wild. I don't have one. Try close prompt again. Always fish for a better hand. There's no indication that this okay hand won't get worse. Yeah, but one thing I'd always do in person, if you're going to mulligan, before you mulligan, just check what the top card is to see if like it would have been fine. Like obviously you're committed to mulligan. You can't look at the top card and be like, no, this is fine. But look at what your 6th card is. It's generally good, like nice teaching thing. No good? No dice? Just toggles between the Citadel Trace and waiting for a run. Yuck. It won't let me go back further than that. So what did we do last click? I don't know what we did last click. Click for credit or some garbage? Click for credit. I can't end the turn. I can't end the turn. No fix on your end? Reloading the pages fix things. Want to try coming back in? Yeah, last click with Citadel fix up. That I understood. I just wanted to see what I did before that. It is wild how often the 6th card unlocks the first 5. Yeah, sometimes. KK. Funny you brought it up earlier. I just got a notification that Agricola is now available on Board Game Arena. Oh, heck yeah. Maybe undo turn? Yeah, maybe. I just want to see if this reload works. I really hope it does, because this game isn't taking a while, and I think we can get to an end. Agricola is so good. I heard that they're also working on Feast for Odin. Frisbee, how's it going? I haven't played Feast for Odin. I've heard it's good too. Stoppable. Late night Adam party. Yo, Adam's doing good right now. Building big rigs that break JNet. If our Shaper did not break JNet, there's no way this Adam's going to break JNet. And Ouchie Ice never returns. Adam, undefeated on JNet, hasn't lost a game. Oh, good. They're back. Hey. It kind of did, though. Yeah, actually, you're right. It did get weird for a bit. Yo, JNet bending under the stress on Saturday was wild. Ugh. That weird 10 option prompt. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I gotta point that to JNet dev. What happened on Saturday? I only caught a Little World. So there was like 50 tables and people were getting lag spikes. People were getting lag spikes, and so JNet had to be reset at some point, but like some people couldn't get back into their game, so they actually had to restart. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Ooh. Okay, can they start their turn now? Because I have to fix stuff. I have to draw a card. I have to play this. Okay, hold on. Stay on page. Okay, I'm going to interrupt their turn. And I think we're here. I don't know how many credits we should have had. Something like that. Okay. We should be at 11. No, we should be at 9. Oh, they regolith. So we should be at 10. Okay, cool. No, we have no pad taps. 9. Okay. Okay, sorted. Yeah, so JNet was just getting really bad, and then people started refreshing all at the same time, so it was getting really awkward. Because the more refresh, the more strain that was on JNet. And then it was just really difficult. It should be on 9. Yeah, I think you're right. We should be on 9. I think we have to go check that. Do we have to install a breaker finally? I think there might be a toll booth there. Uh-oh. We know they have a mumbed. I think we can deal with a mumbed. Let's draw our cards first, I guess. Oh, that's a good way to deal with a mumbed, ain't it? This dirty laundry archives. Let's go find a nice agenda off the top of the deck. Give us a Bologna. It's a bankers. Damn. So, I guess we could consider running server 1. We can also just like drop the Rozeki. Basically, the response to lag spike is failure to DDoS JNet. Yeah, 100%. I plan to run NBN on standard. Like in standard format, right? There's a lot of good options. If you want to look at the deck list Caden for World, like this deck list specifically, CTM is doing really well. But if you want to play more Glacier, there was Asmari and Acme decks that also performed really well. There's a lot of options. Netrunner DB is like ripe right now. So we have nothing to discard, so we could just Ingolo and then just go ahead and overclock the remote, which seems fine. We're probably gonna end up with 2 tags, so hopefully we this isn't too bad for us. Especially if they res like a toll booth here. Oh, it's a ping. Oh, actually that's awkward. Oh, that's really awkward. I think we'd let them have this. It's a ping. So we'd have to pay 3 credits to go through this. Then we're tagged, so we actually have to break this. So no, we can't do that. No. I think we'd let this fire. Do we not have a paperclip? Bottom 9. Are there mad dashes? Yes, there are. Finally got my friend to Netrunner. Looks like you found him. Be nice, he's new. Oh yeah. So far we've been nice. We had some issues and we've worked through them, like personal issues, deep personal issues. But I'm glad. It looks like he's trying a worlds list, which is fun. Do we have any way to use this money? I don't really think so. I think this is really bad for us. Now we could consider sports. We could have considered, and I think the right play there might have been sports hoppering to merge in creativity out of paperclip. But let's talk about this. NBA, I'm running Harsashandra Ent as my identity. Ooh, that's a very tricky identity. I've never seen somebody play that to a level where it's like you should be playing this over playing anything else. But that's only in like competitive Netrunner. So do watch out. A lot of people won't believe in the identity. Okay, so we break this for 3. Then we have to hit this and we can't break it. So I feel like that's going to be the end of Ryan. So we just let this fire. We know that on top they can score out here 3-2 and then they're on game point. Tomorrow's headline could be awkward if they score it out with a Sansan. Yeah, Katie, you're probably not doing yourself any favors if you want to learn like good fundamentals and have like a strong economy and do all that sort of good Netrunner stuff. But Harsashandra is probably fun. So be that as it may, it doesn't actually make sense in context. I think we're going to draw here because we need to find our paperclip. We probably should have considered, oh, I hope this works. Okay, it did. Nice. All right, liberated. That's the thing. We're going to draw 2 more. Our paperclip gets to this remote server relatively well. And in terms of mad dashes, I think we have 1 and we haven't seen it yet. So bottom 7 has paperclip, mad dash. Oh, it's Rashida. Good. Can't poll up that. Won't poll up that. Don't have poll up. Harsh under complete image is my meme dream. It's so hard too, Enagon, because like you still have to do the damage randomly. So even if you know the hand, like that's the problem. It's like it makes it easier because you know the cards in hand. They have to be tagged, but still complete image is like a 50% chance of working out or something worse than that, right? If they have 2 cards in hand, it's a 50% chance. If they have 3 cards in hand, it's like what? Yeah, I know. Yeah. Okay, good. I feel like we need to start checking these. That's an overclock. That's good. I feel like we got to check these. I feel like one of them could be a shipment for a Sansan City Grid. I feel like they would have put in server 1, but like I don't know what this is. Like one of them is a bankers group. That's all I know. Daily Business Show probably showed up by now. Why would they sneak out an agenda? They have a remote server. Maybe that's why it's so clever. Well, we'll just run archives first. Surprised only 1 Hoshiko in the top cut. It kind of makes sense, right? Like Max is just kind of better. Like the free card draw is just freer. Oh, there's no Sansan. Okay. But Hoshiko's not bad. I just feel like a lot of the competitive players who wanted to play Anarch said Max was better, so they were playing Max. Now we don't have to trash things, right? Actually, one of these is a Mumbed Virtual Tour. Excuse me, we do have to trash things. The Daily Business Show, that's fine. Grip 6 is 6, so we kind of want to put this down and gain 4 off of it. Or we could draw once to discard the paperclip, which also seems reasonable. Maybe. I feel like there was a play like a year ago in which we used the sports hopper to draw. That would have been good. Because pay 3 to draw 3 is not the worst. Like that's drug dealer, right? The card. Oh, I think they forgot their beginning of turns. Oh, wait, what? Oh, okay. Want to res now? Oh, no worries. Yo, when again, the problem is I did not say good luck, have fun to your friend. Which is, you know, an issue. Uh-oh, server 10 is the Mumbed, I think. We definitely need to run HQ. The agendas are all in HQ. Once we have this out in the bin, I think we're just going to overclock HQ next turn. Does this deck have a killer? Yeah, we have an MK Ultra in the bin. Yeah, we've had forever. It's midnight. Uh-oh. Okay. Gotta figure out this game. Do we have anything in the deck that we could have gotten for cheap from Emergent? Might have been better there if it was a target. I don't really think so, actually. There's a chance that there's nothing else in the deck. Like, what else is in the deck? Oh, that's Sunny. What else is in the deck? Nothing. Third brain chip, that's it. What happened? Commercial install in server 1. Okay, now we're going server 1. And we're going to overclock server 1. Earthrise is going to draw us our last 2 cards. Yeah, I don't think there's anything. What do you RNG geek cast on key guess on HQ. We guess 0 because we think there's a bankers group. Sorry, a MBT on HQ, and we'll access that first. So we'll guess 0 for sure. Because this is a card you access. It doesn't have to be a card. Good luck, have fun soaking and remove JNet bugs. No, that's how they keep everything nice and clean. You know when they give the bad players their own private server and they don't tell them? It's exactly like that. Oh, MU is full. Oh, that's embarrassing. How many Hard Day News have they played? 2. I think we got rid of Arizeki. Is this a crime? It's probably the RNG key is. No, RNG key is better than Arizeki, right? So this we can trace through for 2, or we can pay 3. I'd rather not give them the ability to trace in. Good luck, have fun needs to be a card, huh? I'm kind of surprised it isn't. Just can't tell people about the bad player shadow ban. I only keep playing about these 3 other players, and they're really obnoxious, man. It's weird how that is. I think there's one more spin doctor that server 10 could be. Yo, Rash, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Top of the deck, Turnpike. That's a 2. This is a Beal. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh, this got really expensive fast. So we actually can boost 3 into this trace. So we don't have to trash them up with Virtual Tour. I think we're going to do that. Well, we'll do the math, right? He did the math. We also could consider taking down the bankers at this point, but I feel like on 15 credits, it doesn't really change much. Okay, because if this is Mumbai Virtual Tour, if we access with 5 credits, we have to trash it. So they do the CTM trace and they're trace 4. So if we spend 3 on it, we're not going to get value of our Citadel, which is a problem. I think RNG Key is better than Rizeki Post World Musings. Yo, it's such a good card. So if we pay 3 here, or we can spend, yeah, we're definitely gonna spend 3 here, right? And then we'll spend no action. Okay, and we'll remove the tag clicklessly. We always go bring down the commercial bankers group. I feel like that's not amazing. I feel like that's not amazing, is it? So that's 2 sand cents out. They probably don't have another. So I think we just click for 2 credits here, discarding an emergent. We could bring down the bankers group, but they're on 15 credits. Like what? Yeah, that's fine. All right. They just drew into the Turnpike and an unknown card, bottoming one of them, because mind you, Daily Business Show has been triggering. But like, this is a free run R&D. This is Temujin. This is what Temujin looks like. There's probably so many agendas in HQ. We really just need to pivot. Last 2 cards of the deck is a Mad Dash, and honestly, I don't know. Predictive Pancam to gain 3. They have a lot of money. There's only 10 cards left in R&D. So that easily could be a Beal or an Ares. We are just going to run Archives to see the top. It could be a Spin Doctor for the shuffle, which would be good for them. It's a Bologna. Okay. So this gets a bit tricky because it's 3 to break in. So then we'd have 3, but then we get 3 from RNG key. Seems good. Going to do it. Mad Dash. Oh my God. Jamarcus. Mad Dash was the answer. That's how we win. It's Mad Dash it. We hit this button. That's the Mad Dash button. Card goes fast. Unless it's a Spin Doctor. But I don't think it is. Now we Mad Dash. We guess 5. Yeah. Yes. So this is 3 to break. Unless it's a Spin Doctor. Bottom card Mad Dash. Infinite value. Infinite value. Oh, we could even like logic bomb this if we're like really ridiculous, but I don't think we need to. Wait, what? It was a Spin Doctor. Foiled. Oh no. We still name 5. We still name 5 so we can win. Because we probably 2 Bolognas in there, but it was a Spin Doctor. Ugh. Never mind. The dream's been shattered. They got the DBS draw as well. They could actually consider drawing it, which might be right. 1 to 7th getting it anyways. Yeah, I think so. I think we still name 5. Which will also line up with their one of copy of they're not on hedge fund, but if they're on like, I don't know, Funhouse, find another Bologna. I know, we're gonna see what they shuffle in. Good thing we didn't logic bomb yet. But that's good. That's good that they had the like if they're a new player, that is a good line to figure out that you can spin doctor shuffle. So good on them. If they had a spin doctor on the table and they let this happen, that's how you learn how this works. How are you breaking IP block? We have a paperclip. Oh no. So. Can't select cards? Huh? Whoa. Uh-oh. That's new. Haven't seen that one before. Oh. Finish the DBS trigger first. Yeah, right. It triggered off the draw. You have to send one to the bottom. Yeah, totally. Thank you. I forgot about that, yeah. I've done that before. Yeah, easy miss. The Mad Dash prompt is waiting for them to interact because they're doing a thing. It locks you out from doing things. They would put you under 5 to steal Bologna? No. If we guess RNG key and we guess 5, and then we have a hit of Bologna. Oh no. Yeah, so we should have enough as long as we hit RNG key. Sick. Okay. It won't let me encounter. Is this really broken? Please no. Okay. I can't encounter. Okay. Wanna try and fire the doctor now? Use the turning wheel? Turning wheel doesn't actually help that much because unless we hit... Oh yeah, with the Mad Dash, we would definitely use turning wheel. You're right, especially on the shuffle. But yeah, if we don't hit the Bologna at the top, we won't have the money to steal Bologna. But yeah, we might as well use it because we could probably take down another agenda on the way. I would have forgotten. Man, Spin Doctor was so good. Yeah, for Mad Dash, yeah, for sure. Close prompt. No! What's happening tonight? What's happening? Ugh. ABS is messing up spin? A DBS? How so? I can't encounter. This is frustrating. JNet survived basically through all worlds, and then it came to Thursday and it's like, oh, I don't know, guys. Let me rest. You have to bottom of DBS first. I think they did. Undo click on move DBS to archives, trigger spin, then pull DBS out. Oh, did you do... But the DBS fires off spin. Have you done that part? Oh. Yeah, it should though. Hold on. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Just res DBS. Yeah, they're just a bit too soon. So res spin, trigger DBS, then fire spin. Don't fire the spin until you're done with DBS. Yeah, because they're just doing it too fast. Oh, I have to undo 2 clicks. Oh shit, I'm gonna undo turn. Hold on. Yeah, they're just not doing one prompt before the other properly. We'll get there. You draw during spin doctor, and it wants you to finish that first. Okay. So we did run archives. So just res spin doctor. Oh, hold on. And do DBS, but don't pop spin. Educational stream, yeah. I did the exact thing today. Yeah, I know. I've done it before too. When I'm mashing, I'm like, why doesn't it work? It's like, finish the DBS thing. It needs you to finalize your decision before you shuffle with it. Give it a shot. Does DBS have the interrupt symbol in card art? No. Yes. Yes. Okay, all you. It changes nothing whether we do this during a run. They should just do it now for simplicity's sake. Yeah, they added the interrupt to this card. Well, they added the interrupts to every card. I think they're waiting for you to be mid-mad-ish. You can just do it first. I just don't want to goof it up and have to undo the run again. Yeah, so you res Spin Doctor, trigger DBS. Now they don't have to do DBS, so now they, okay. Now that you're done DBSing, go ahead and pop. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, you just need to get them in order or it might mess up. Of course. Okay. Funky code. It's not funky code for what it's worth. They just have to do it in the proper order. Otherwise, the deck doesn't know, like, how am I shuffling if one of the cards is in your hand that has to go back? So I wouldn't call it funky code, but I understand that it's a bit weird. Okay, let's go. No, thanks. Break 3. Okay. Use. Access an additional card R&D. Breach server. Fire energy key for 5. Please, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies. No. Beans. We lost the brain chip, that's fine. Not great, y'all. That was not great. So they're gonna hard hitting news us next turn. So that's cool, I guess. Here we can probably just click for 2. Honestly, that's probably good enough. If we get down to the daily cast, right, they're gonna start with 4 credits anyways. I'd rather just start with 5 credits. Maybe that's right. Ugh. Yeah, there's still a Bologna still. The prompts that are up a bit funky though. It says you have to Spin Doctor prompt, but expecting the DBS interaction. Yeah, you may be right, but I think it's because they mashed true things. If anything, it shouldn't let you do Spin Doctor while you have the DBS prompt up, right? Because it has a prompt up here, but then you don't finalize it, and then you start another prompt. So then it, like, you know, gets a bit upset at you. So you either drew a toll booth or a hard hitting news. I feel like they're gonna hard hitting news us. I feel like they're gonna. And if we see a blown off the top of the deck, we can't Spin Doctor. We can't mad dash it. We're going to steal 2 agendas, which whatever. No big deal. So there's still 2 Bolognas in the list, right? Some of these are actually on 3 Bologna. Oh, that actually looks like a Bologna, which is fine. Ish. Fine-ish. We don't have links, so they'd have to boost only 2 here, right? Trace 4. So it's either 4 credits and 2 clicks or just 4 credits here. So they definitely should have boosted 2 more here. I think this is a definite misplay. Because if they boosted 2 more, it would be Trace 6. And then we actually have to spend half our turn doing misdirection. They're allowing us not to spend half our turn, which is obviously way better for us. So we're just going to run archives. That's the last hard hitting news, right? Yeah. Enigma. We have to just run an HQ one of these turns. One of these turns we have to run HQ. It's going to be next turn, my friends. It's going to be next turn when we click for 4 here. Imagine we had another Rizeki, huh? They score Bologna, they can win with 15 minutes. The Money Sinai lists usually have a 15 minutes if they're on 2 on Money Sinai's. And then we're probably going to lose. So we probably slam HQ. They likely have 1 or 2 more agendas here. I think we just go straight HQ. The cool thing here is we can kind of clear whole tags. There's a Bologna. We just need to make sure when we access we have 5 credits, which honestly that's going to be hard when we start with 8. So do we just check archives and see the top of R&D, or do we run HQ? I feel like the remote server is actually easier than HQ. Why didn't you steal Bologna? They shuffled. It wasn't there. Oh, in the remote server? Well, that's actually a really good question. Why did I not even consider it? Sansan, and there's a Mumbet in there. Which is weird, because that means that this on HQ is actually probably a Chrysium. Or a Price Hack. Because 3 Mumbets are accounted for. Yeah, we could have actually stole the Bologna there in their remote server. I don't know why we didn't consider it. Toll Booth Enigma, that's fine. If anything, we end up floating a tag. So they had an Enigma, but we don't know what they're drawing. I think we actually put down Liberated. We'll be on 2 credits and we'll go up to, I think that's actually correct. Because we could end this turn, we go down to 2 and then we go up to 10. Or we can be at 11. I think we want to go up to 10. We get to the end game and we misplay it terribly. It would be good to see the outer HQ ice is bounceable. Yeah, there's a chance it is. There's not anything really in the list that's hard bounceable besides ping. Yeah, but we definitely want turning 1 tokens to flush HQ. You had no money. We didn't have a lot of money. I think we only had 2 credits for the bonus, so it's probably not possible. That's probably why. Yeah, because I think our money was bad. We also can just boost our breakers if we need a logic bomb the remote, so we have less than 5 credits. That's a Sansan City grid on top of probably an agenda, which is an issue because the fuck? Is this list on Prisec? The heck is this? We have to run that. You could click 2 credits for logic bomb the remote. Yeah, we float tags though. And if we get exchange, we lose. Actually, not really. Yeah, we exchange, we lose. What is this? 4 install cards, you don't see that? Yeah, this list has Pricex. They threw it a boom. The list has might has 2 boom. Might has. So I think we're gonna double Liberated run the remote server. The other option is running 1 Liberated, run the remote server. And then we can just like misdirection away what we need to. What do you think the right play is? Because otherwise we would just do this credit and then we float like 3 tags, and right, and hope that they don't have a last boom in hand. And the time they threw the boom around, it did not look like we'd float tags. The other option is we do this once and we have a click left, and we could consider stealing an agenda here, stealing R&D, which probably is one of our ways we win. So I think we'll do that. I think we'll hit this and then run R&D. I mean, sorry, run server 1. Because then at least, oh, it got late. The lights turn off automatically. If it were me, I'd take the Liberated so Logic Bomb feels less bad. I don't think we're going to Logic Bomb this. I don't think there's anything we Logic Bomb. Like, we can get through any ice. Hydra is the only issue. This is fine. Like, we float the tag on here. We don't break this. Because we're going to commit to the misdirection anyways. We don't break this. We break IP block for 3 anyways. So I don't think we care. Hold on 1 second. Back in business, y'all. They have 23 credits. They're actually boosting. No, they're not boosting this. That's fine. Honestly, the order we interact with these kind of matters. QPM? I don't think the list is on QPM. We didn't see any worlds list on QPM, and I think this is just a worlds list. Like, if you actually go to like Netrunner DB, I reckon we could see which, yeah, it's probably this list, which is on 2 booms. Uh-oh. Yeah. 3 bomb bed, 2 price sec, 2 Sansan. This is they have a boom in hand. So this is gonna be a problem. We're gonna die to White Blades deck. This is the deck that actually was messaged to me like, yo, try this the week before Worlds, and I didn't get to it. So we're gonna take a lot of tags here. So at least we can clear the tags. We're gonna need to bring down the Sansan. We won't have enough money, I think, to clear all the tags. Depends. If we access a Sansan first, we have to trash the Sansan no matter what. But if we access a Prisec first, like that is an issue. So we just have to slam HQ. Like I think we're gonna die. I think we just don't have enough money. And we can't Logic Bomb this because we'll end up with like 3 tags and we'll die to boom. We don't have enough cards. Like we could consider drawing to 7 if we had 7, because we don't have 7 hand size. Because we have no cards to draw, yeah, parallel, but like in theory drawing through it is an option. We need an agenda here, and we need to specifically steal a Bologna. Oh, there's an AR on top. If we steal a Bologna here, which one are we accessing? I don't think they would put a Bologna in the remote, but if they put the Bologna in the remote, we have a chance. Middle. That's 5 agenda points. Sansan. Got it. Have to trash it. Middle one? Yeah, middle is agenda. Now this means it's price second to MBT. So at least here, oh, we fucked it up. Shit, they're tracing us. So now if we boost 2 into the trace, we don't have to trash the Prisec or the MVT. So this is the thing you can do. We've now ducked down to 4 credits. We could have considered boosting a breaker first, but now we hit the Prisec. So they'll give us a tag. And then we actually can clear all the tags. And we don't have to trash either of these because we've already accessed the card. Prevent the meat damage? How? Oh, yes, I don't know. No, thanks. Thanks. And some other turret we don't trash. So now we actually can perfectly clear all the tags and not die to boom on the spot. Otherwise, we can consider running R&D, but it's only 1 agenda point, which is a problem because they're just going to jam to the remote next turn. So, wait, how do we have 1 tag? Oh, okay. At least we're alive. At least we're alive. Wait, these lights don't seem correct. Oh, this is not correct, is it? These are all wrong. That's better. Okay. So the Citadel trace they'll easily beat. Price sector even from 4 to 5. Yeah, that's right. It was 1 from this. Trace 2. Yeah, no, that's good. All right, so they could start clearing our stuff. And our stuff is actually pretty impactful because we always can get like free runs if we just logic bomb through everything. Fortunately, we need like 5 credits. So if the Liberate stays up, we can always do like liberated accounts, Rizeki, and then we could just bounce off of R&D 3 times and then just run with Turning Wheel and see 3 cards and then hopefully have enough Bologna credits. Do they have enough to FA that out? No, we trashed the Sansan. Okay, they brought down the Liberated. That's the right choice. We still could get to 5, but it's going to involve most of our turn. So we basically just have to hope that top of R&D has a Bologna in it. I meant the turn before. The AR was on top of the deck, so maybe if they didn't have it, but they installed the Sansan last turn, so I don't know. They installed the Sansan. They did not need to put the 3/2 in the remote server. That's true. Now the awkward thing is like we can't bounce archives to get credits. Bounce archives to see the top of R&D because we need basically the last Beal or the last Bologna. Maybe it means HQ is flooded. It could be. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, they're giving us that. Ooh. They trashed 3 logic bombs. Honestly, might not be wrong, but then they're not winning. Run HQ? I don't know if we can deal with 2 ice that well. It's really hard with the Bologna. If we're going to nail that this is a Crizim, and I think that's a Prisec, right? If we know this list, if we know this list, it has to be a Prisec, which is a problem too, because if we miss, we die to boom. And if we access a trashable off R&D, then we trash it, we can't steal Bologna. You have all the logic bombs to deal with 2 ice? Yeah, but then we'll have 2 tags, and then we die. Okay, they are retrashing it. Turning wheel 3 times, run HQ, 2 logic bombs. But we can't steal Bologna. Oh, 1 logic bomb down. Okay, so they're not winning this turn, which is important, because now we can just clear the tag and, like, recover. Right? The big question is what we do here, because they didn't jam in their mode even though they had a 3-1, right? Which I think is wrong. I think they could have considered jamming here, because even if we steal a 1 agenda point, we don't win. Just trash boom and go tag me. It's hard to trash boom, though. Like, we have to get in, which we won't have a lot of money. And then we access something with like 5 trash cost. If we like, you know, RNG key, I guess off of the price sec, it's a bit different. I think we just clear the tags and then click 3. Right? Like the other option is run archives and then see what it is. And if it's a Beal, we win. I think that's probably fine for a click. That's a Sansan. It's always a Sansan. Okay. Well, you have a single logic bomb. And we think there's a toll booth in front of HQ as well. Oh no. Bounce 3 and clear HQ? Bounce 3 times? But we can't bounce 3 times. We bounce 3 times, we take 3 tags. Right? Like we can't bounce. There's no way that we bounce and don't get a tag. There's definitely probably a ping or a toll booth on HQ. Toll booth is honestly not that bad, but they probably shouldn't res it, which I guess means we bounce. But they have 5 cards left, and we're just looking for an agenda. So next turn we'll be on 4 credits, which is fine because we can bounce our archives. Oh, they're drawing. That's not a good start. They have the Sansan. They just need to jam something. We have to run it. They don't have the 15 minutes, which is good. This list doesn't have a 15 minutes. It does not have a 50 minutes. So that's 3, 3, 3, 3, 1. Go tag me and bounce on Logic Bomb. If we miss, we die. And I feel like we don't need to do that because they're not threatening to win this turn. And now they install something in server 1. It's either the Sand Center or the agenda. So now we have to win. The question is whether we try to win off R&D in our HQ. So we can run archives. Okay. The big thing is we know there's 2 more Bolognas. So no matter where we go, currently being encountered means we pay the toll booth tax, right? But no matter where we go, we need to access with 5 credits. So I think we can run archives to see the top of R&D. The other option is, yeah, I think we run archives, see the top of R&D, and then like, you don't die because you trash boom. It's just not always going to happen. If we access a card from HQ that has a bigger trash cost, then we won't be left with a 1 credit. But at this point, it doesn't matter because they have to win in the remote anyways. So if we die to boom, we die to boom. The question is whether we feel unlucky, Punk. They've been daily business showing to the point that I think R&D might just be agendas. I don't think they're taking the Bolognas into hand. So I think we could just start with archives run. And if we see a Bologna at the top of the deck, we win. If we see any agenda at the top of the deck besides the last 1-3, which we know is in hand, we win. So I think we do that. And if that fails, we'll just credit, run HQ. Or bounce, credit, run HQ. Yeah, I think that's a fine start. Remember when we mad dashed a year ago? That's an enigma. So we have to do credit, bounce, run HQ. Now, Turnpike will rob us the dollar we need for Bologna. That's actually a reason to do credit. We actually already see 2 cards from HQ, which is something that we've been forgetting maybe all game. Toll Booth will rob us 3 credits, which means we just can't deal with it anyways. So the question is, do we play around Toll Booth? Or there's only 1 Turnpike and there's 2 turn Toll Booth. Can I get a confirmation? This says when encountering, which means we have to encounter the piece of ice. So Logic Bomb, we lose 3 credits to Toll Booth, right? Can I get a confirmation on that? Because I think that's right. Because while you were encountering, it means the on encounter is triggered. Could you credit bounce see 1 new card on D? That is correct. Okay. We could consider doing it. Yeah, we could see 2 cards off of R&D. That's another option. I just feel like HQ might be better. Same as Data Raven. Okay, cool. So the other option is, it's 12:30. Gee, yikes. We could do credit. So no matter what, the toll booth is going to take money from us. So the question is, do we want to see 1 new card in R&D or 3 cards from HQ? And I think the option is always 3 cards from HQ and hope that's not the Bologna. So I think we will run R&D, take the tag, credit, run HQ. Don't forget you get 3 credits back from RG key. Yeah, that's true. It's true. That actually is probably what we're going to need to do. So let's do it. I'm committing to this line. Run R&D, let it fire. Yeah. The thing is, like, we could access the prize deck and surely gain 3 credits, but we're forced to trash it. Actually, we're not forced to trash it because we ran archives. Oh, so we can ensure we have the money. Oh, that's good. That's good. No. Yes, that's perfect. Unless it's 2 toll booths. Oh boy. Oh wait, but there's 2 ice. We only have 1 logic bomb. What are we thinking? Wait, why did we think this was a good idea? Wait, there's 2 ice. How did nobody stop us on this yet? There's literally 2 ice. How are we gonna logic bomb through this? Okay, we're going R&D. We know there's Enigma on top, so I think the best thing we can do here is credit run R&D. Right? I think that's our only play. Guess 3 because we know it's an Enigma, and then see the next card. Yeah, I think it's turning well R&D. We can't deal with 2 ice on HQ. Like if we look at the 2 ice on HQ, Hydra problem, toll booth problem, IP block ping are all accounted for. So it has to be Enigma. I think we saw the Enigma. It's on top of the deck. So it's toll booth, Hydra. So I don't think we're running here, y'all. Yeah, we're going R&D. Now, in theory, we don't have to logic bomb. In theory. We're floating a tag, might as well. They're going to win. Like, there's 3 things they could put in the remote server, I think, that win. God, it was an HQ the whole time, wasn't it? If they res both, they can't score, but let's end this. Yeah. But yeah, I got 8-7. No, they can still score if they put the 3-1 in there. Enigma. That was the line. Oh no, that was the line. 100 to 159 credits. The game was 73 minutes. That was a good game. Was it Wenegon? Never didn't have it. Wenegon, you said what a game. Yeah. That was their only line, right? Like there's no other line. Hey, glad to have you. Yeah, yes. That was wildly long. I generally stopped streaming 45 minutes ago. But never gets. Quick game before bed. I know that always happens. I sent the res ice on HQ so we can ruminate more. We can't get. Could you? Chat was wondering if you would kindly res all. I'm assuming, yeah, it's Toll Booth Hydra. Hey, it was fun. It was. Just as Nisei intended. I know, 72 minutes. We had some technical issues though. Caps, I think, goof it. But it'll ask you. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Toll Booth Hydra into price tag. We had the full read. And they actually jammed in the Sans, and so we did force the res. They jammed the agenda that they couldn't have scored out. So we'd have to get through this. Ngolo is actually possible. We actually could have got through this and then logic bombed through that and then got 3 credits when we accessed, which wouldn't have been good enough and we would have died to boom probably. No killers in your deck. MK Ultra, which you can install from the bin. I just don't think I need it. Trashing LB was a sneaky great play on their part. Logic Bomb? Yeah, I think so. And it kind of did show that they had something in an HQ. Because this remote server wasn't good enough. But a single Logic Bomb, we could have contested this remote server. The problem is if it's the prize Sansan, we float tags. But like our opening start was so good. Admittedly, we dried up on card draw and couldn't find anything off the top of R&D. But like Citadel into misdirection opening was perfect. Yeah, fun games. Thanks for stream. Hey, me too. Thanks for the game. So they did not play this, I think, like how a lot of like, you know, you'd see it at Worlds. And I think there definitely is mistakes that they made. Like you saw, like, I think the trace on the hardening news was like a very big mistake because it would have cost us half a turn. And we really needed all our clicks we have. But like minor stuff other than that, like they understood a lot of the stuff that they need to understand, which is really fantastic. And they understood our triggers, which was cool. They valued this stuff and trash resources. They let the pad tap go for too long, but I think they if they're new to the game, they're definitely in a really good start. Time for sleep. Yeah, me too. That's gonna be it for me. It's a bit late. Maddie's gonna be upset probably. She's still awake even. Thanks so much for watching. Real quick, again, Worlds was up. It's up on YouTube, youtube.com, Project Nisei. It's all there. So go check out Worlds. It's an absolute blast. Huge shout outs to Nisei. I don't think we said this. Huge shout outs to Nisei for running fantastic Worlds. People seem to be really happy with the meta, myself included. So I think every part of this is a huge success. So really, really, really well done. We'll be back next week. I think Pat's gonna be here too. But that should be it. Take care, y'all.